We now interrupt our normal scheduled programming for Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on your home for news, talk, and sports in the White Mountains. iTalk 106.7 FM. Sholo Ford.
Looking, he's caught it at the 39 to the 40, crosses midfield. One man to beat. He's around him at the 30 to the 20-10.
You've got 1 minute.
Down.
Also brought to you in part by Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling, Lacey Weeks with Supreme Lending, Mountain Mobile Store, Summit Healthcare, C&H Plumbing, Pro Build, K-Supply, Octopus Car Wash, and Sholo Ford Drive One.
Down the middle pass.
30 seconds.
Are you kidding me?
And now, Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. And you're hot.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Snowflake High School. Camden Smith, Mike Side with Punt Cooley to bring you exciting football action as we get set here for the season opener for the Snowflake Lobos. They're hosting the Marauders of Mingus Union High School. And Punt, the Marauders are the real deal this year. They gave Snowflake a tough try last year, and they're back for some revenge here on Snowflake's home turf.
Well, and they're also a Division III team, high school, of course, from the Cottonwood area. So a bigger high school. We talked to Coach Tenny earlier today about that fact. But Coach Tenny, to his credit, has been fairly successful against these Marauders over the last 3 seasons. He hasn't lost a game yet to the Mingus Marauders, and he's 3-0 so far in his tenure here at Snowflake.
As we count down to kickoff here from Snowflake High School, we got a chance. Mike Granil got a chance to talk to head coach Jake Belelli of Blue Ridge High School. We'll have that interview for you coming up next here on our pregame show, our countdown to kickoff on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back here on iTalk 106.7. Mike Granil here, and I'm joined by head coach, first-year head coach of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, Jake Belelli. And Coach, welcome to the White Mountain. Welcome back to the White Mountains.
Line drive, takes it up across the 20. He's got the 25 hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
He'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
And that is a touchdown for Sholo.
Welcome back here on iTalk 106.7. Mike Granil here, and I'm joined by head coach, first-year head coach of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, Jake Belelli. And Coach, welcome to the White Mountain. Welcome back to the White Mountains. Tell us what you've been doing for the past couple years.
I've been down in Texas for the last 5 years, coaching high school football at Parkland High School down there in El Paso. Been the offensive coordinator down there for the last 5 years. Prior to that, I was playing and coaching at UTEP.
All right. Well, I'm sure obviously gained a lot of experience there, but you're no stranger to the mountains. You kind of know how football is played up here.
Yes, sir, I do. Graduated from St. John's High School, played at Round Valley High School, so I know what it's all about up here.
Well, and that, of course, I'm going to start off with the tough questions first. I'm sorry. And that leads me to the first one. Coach, you take over for Coach Morrow, a guy who you played against. Last week you guys went down to Sarita. Tough team down there. Didn't turn out so well. But what have the emotions been like trying to take over for that, or has that been a factor at all? I'm sorry, trying to take over for Coach Morrow, or has that been a factor?
I mean, it's always going to be a factor when you replace a guy that's won 300 games. And so just getting the kids and the coaches to believe in what you're doing is the biggest challenge. And but the kids have bought in. It's a big learning curve. It's a lot different type of offense that we're doing here now. And so it's an obstacle. The kids are what make Blue Ridge. And so knowing that, I mean, their work ethic is why I came here in the first place. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough There's some changes that we make, but we're going to keep a lot of the tradition here that they've done here in the past.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, you got coaches here who have coached here before, former players and stuff, and I'm sure that probably helps some of that transition.
That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do when I started to put together a staff. Was I wanted former players, guys that have been through Blue Ridge, that have been successful here at Blue Ridge, and know what it takes to be a champion and to be successful here in the White Mountains.
All right, well, and we are in the 2014 season, so we're going to try to keep it there now. Talk a little bit about your key players, guys that you look to for big plays this year.
Well, offensively, I'll start because I'm an offensive guy. I used to be a big defensive guy, but I've gone to the dark side. But Spencer Hall, at our quarterback, returning state champion quarterback, and so you expect a lot out of him, a lot of maturity, a lot of poise. He makes big plays. He's got a great arm. We got a tough receiver, Cody McBride. He had over 100 yards receiving last week against Saurita. He makes big plays. We have a good tight end. Adam Padilla catches the ball really well, big target. Got some speedy backs. We got 3 really good backs: Nate Miles, Tristan Johnson, and Blaine Haybuck. And then our offensive line is young and experienced, but we got Rosario Munoz, who returns, and he's a big anchor for our line. And then defensively, again, Cody McBride, he's all over the field. That guy's tough on defense. We got Ryan Eccles, a big defensive lineman, makes some big plays. Our linebacking core is big. Timmy Entrican, Elijah Aller, both juniors, young guys again, but they're going to anchor that linebacking core.
All right, thanks, Coach. And as you look forward, you look at your season, you look at the games you have home and away, who do you see as your key matchups? Obviously, you want to take this program back to the state playoffs. What teams are there going to be the tough ones to beat?
Well, tomorrow night, we were playing a division up. We play Prescott High School. They're a big school. I think they're traveling 65 players. And so that's going to be a tough game for us. But, a winnable game. We feel like we can go into any game and win. Key matchups for our division are, we have Snowflake and Sholo back-to-back, and that's going to be 2 tough weeks. Fountain Hills is no slouch. I mean, they have a great quarterback, and McDermott. And so those are really key matches for us. And then kind of an old rivalry, I guess an old team we play is Winslow High School next week. And, we don't have an easy schedule. So every week's key for us. I mean, especially with the young team, we're trying to get those wins one by one. So we don't want to look too far ahead, but we know who's on that schedule coming up.
Well, and Coach, like I said, tough schedule, and you talked about the learning curve for offensively. And obviously last week in Saurita, things didn't go well. You didn't get any points on the board. Is that correct? Oh, 8 points. Do you look for a big jump in the offensive production this week?
Yeah, last week we turned the ball over 5 times, and so we did. We moved the ball at times very well, but we threw a pick. They got returned for a touchdown. Threw another interception that got returned down the 10-yard line. Threw another one in the end zone. Fumbled on the 10 going in, and so those are mistakes that we can't overcome as a young team. And so we got to take care of the ball. So that learning curve is mostly mentally. When they're thinking about the offense too much, they tend to make mistakes. And so we're going to simplify it a little bit more and try to overcome those mistakes. We should be okay.
Well, Coach, any other thoughts or words of wisdom to the fans out there as you get ready for the season of Blue Ridge football?
I'm just really excited. I'm proud to be a Blue Ridge Yellow Jacket. This is a dream come true to come up here and be in my home state, coach at a high level, and coach great football. And just keep supporting the kids. If I can tell anybody out there, just keep supporting the kids, believe in them, and believe in what we're doing, and we're gonna be just fine. We're gonna keep it rolling.
Well, Coach, as a former Yellow Jacket, I appreciate that, and we appreciate your time, and we want to wish you good luck. I'm sure we'll be talking to you throughout the season.
Sir, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Jake Belelli, head coach of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, and we're going to be back with more right here on iTalk 106.7.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Here I come.
Take time to be a dad today.
Daddy, I'm gonna find you.
Good job.
longer than I'm marching on the field tonight. But until then, I can just do whatever I want. Except I have to keep it up. I have to sit in.
All right. Welcome to Lobos Stadium tonight, folks. The team, coaches, and cheerleaders, student body, and fans of Snowflake High School extend to each of Mingus Union High School fans a big welcome. We are pleased that you
Snowflake High School as we get set for the Snowflake Lobos, who are hosting the Marauders of Mingus Union High School tonight. Both of these schools with their season opener here tonight, and some good comments from Jake Belelli. Of course, the Yellow Jackets with an uphill battle after that game against Sarita. They're going to have to convince some folks that they're for real this year, Punt.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, certainly a tough start for Coach Belelli and his Yellow Jackets, and in his case, stepping into some very, very large shoes with the departure of the legendary Coach Morrow. But, you know, he's got a great attitude about the whole thing. Just, you know, he's fighting with those kids to just build a program based on, you know, his new philosophies and his new offense, as he mentioned. Not an easy track by any means, but you got to tip your hat to the effort he's putting into that football team this year.
I'll tell you what, there's another team that had a tough road trip last week, and that was the Sholo Cougars, who went down to Williamsfield and took it in the face from them. A much bigger and stronger Williamsfield team, rated number 3 in the state for their division, which is, again, a division above the Sholo Cougars. They're Division 3, and the Cougars sitting in Division 4, of course, here, along with Snowflake and Blue Ridge. And so our team's really having a tough start to the season. And another coming out of the Sholo Cougars camp tonight, we do have word, and we got confirmation earlier today, that they lost their starting quarterback in Caleb Farr. Quentin Clark will take over the reins for the Sholo Cougars from here on out.
Yeah, not entirely clear what was behind that decision on the part of Caleb Farr, but it's got to be a big loss for them. You know, obviously the senior quarterback had kind of an up and down game, I think, you know, against Williamsfield, but you know, they're going up against really, really tough competition, as you mentioned, Camden, in their first game starting out the season. So not really sure what's going on there, but you know, we did notice for sure that the guy stepping in to that quarterback position is certainly one of their better athletes, so it'll be exciting to see what the Cougars now do with that new quarterback.
Reminder that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Sunrise Park Resort. Don't forget, great things happening this weekend. Check it out at sunriseskipark.com. Scenic lift rides. They've got hotel stays up there, kayaking, mountain biking, lots of fun. Labor Day weekend with a full complement of activities going on. Archery, fishing, airbag jumping, tube sliding, and hiking. You'll enjoy it. Go on up there to Sunrise this weekend. Enjoy a wonderful Labor Day in the cool pines of Sunrise at Sunrise Mountain. Go to sunriseskipark.com for details. That's sunriseskipark.com. Well, Punt Cooley had a chance to meet with head coach Randy Tenny earlier this morning from Snowflake High School, and we've got that interview for you here right now. Let's go to that.
Punt Cooley here with iTalk Radio, visiting with Coach Tenny of the Snowflake Lobos, who's preparing his team today for a battle against the Mingus Marauders. And thank you, Coach, for taking time. I know you have a busy day today. Before we talk about the game and your team, if my math is right, I think you're entering your 5th season here with the Snowflake Lobos. And then, of course, years before that at Heber, Mogollon. Talk a little bit, if you would, please, about how you're basically the CEO of a football team, and there's things that outside of football that a head coach needs to deal with, and just preparing a group of kids and a group of coaches for a season. What have you found to be some of the more challenging things as a head coach as you do that in preparing a club for a season?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of nuances that go on in this profession, and a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of times people don't realize. And fortunately here at Snowflake, a lot of the burden that especially coaches like at Mogollon and some of their smaller schools have to burden, they take care of for you here as far as having people to deal with equipment and taking care of the fields and setting up things. Snowflake does a great job out here, relieving that burden from me. So then I just get to deal with, making sure the kids get prepared, making sure we have all of their concussion courses taken care of that they have to do, making sure that they're instructed in all those types of things. And then just trying to prepare them for the games. We do have all the other stuff that goes into it as far as, itineraries for trips, making sure parents are aware of everything that's going on. Our fundraising that we do for our club takes a lot of our time, and so a lot of those little things kind of add up in the end, but the main part of it is just working with the kids day in, day out, and trying to get them ready for the season.
Okay, and with this team this year, any unique challenges or thoughts on getting them ready for the season?
Well, whenever you lose a good bunch of seniors, you're trying to find kids that can come in, step in, be role players, find kids that are going to replace those that are leaving, and so you spend a lot of time putting various kids in different positions, seeing where the team can be stronger with each kid, and so that's usually this time of year what you're trying to do is move kids around, see how they're going to work out in different spots, and then with some of the kids coming back that played there last year, what you have, and so you kind of try to strengthen them and what they've been doing already. So, between those two things, it keeps you pretty hopping.
And Snowflake has had a tradition through the years of developing some outstanding football teams. Can you maybe talk quickly about some of the kids that have graduated from Snowflake that have gone on and played in college level football?
Well, since I've been here, we've had a few kids that have definitely had looks and different things. A lot of them are on missions right now since I've been here, and so we'll look to come back and play when they return home. So, these boys, Snowflake does have a lot of great kids, talent-wise, character-wise. They're just good young men, and I think that's a tribute to the community, to the parents of these boys that work with them, and we're just kind of feeling lucky and blessed as coaches that we get to work with such caliber of kids. And whether they go on and play at the next level, we try to help them out if that's their dream and goal. For most of them, at least at our level, if they do, it's usually to a junior college or small division. One of our coaches on staff this year, Coach Reddick, went back to South Dakota and played last year, and so he's back here on staff with us. So you have those, and then we've had Reggie Peterson that when he returns from his mission, if he still wants to, has offers out there where he can go and play. So it's always cool to see those guys go on and do well, and not necessarily from our school, even seeing kids from other schools being able to go down to ASU and other places and be successful, you're glad to see any of the kids from up here in the White Mountains do well and succeed at the college level.
You bet. So let's talk about your team this year. By my count, and I'm not saying my count's right, but it looked like you lost about 17 seniors from last year's club, at least the roster I looked at. So clearly a transitional year for you. Can you talk about quickly some of the key positions changes, maybe some key leadership players that you're seeing so far develop with this football club, both on the offensive side and the defensive side?
Sure. We've had some great kids last year, move on and graduate. Tyree Head being our quarterback last year, and Rick Shumway, Lehigh Caldwell, Brett Mills, Logan Cron, Nick Hall. A lot of great guys there, and I shouldn't even been naming names because I'm probably going to leave some of them out. But great bunch of guys, and most of them were skilled players. Couple linemen. We, this year I think our strength coming into this season is we have a lot of our linemen coming back. And so anytime up front in the trenches you've got experience coming back, that's a good thing. And then you fill in your skill positions with young men and that have had some experience there, a little last year on varsity or even JV the year before. So, filling in those holes, and tonight with Mingus will give us a chance to see, how these kids can fit in and just start taking over where these guys left off.
Fair enough. And let's talk quickly about the division, or the section rather, this year. Always one of the tops in terms of football at the Division IV level. Some big changes with some of the programs, in particular Coach Morrow leaving after 30 years or so at Blue Ridge. I know you don't want to look too far ahead in terms of, game planning and things, but can you just maybe share a little thoughts of your own about what you see in terms of key changes, or just some thoughts on, your big rival not too far from here, Sholo, clearly also another excellent club year to year. If you could maybe just share some perspectives on that.
Sure. Well, in Division IV, our section up here, is by far the toughest section in Division IV. And so trying to have a good preseason schedule will help us going into conference. Coach Bell, she's taken over there in Blue Ridge, and we wish him the best up there. And you've got Coach Reisdorf there in Scholitz that has established a good staff and a well-established program with those young men, and Fountain Hills and Payson. They're all really tough teams, and so boys have to learn you got to come and strap it on every Friday night and be ready to play, and we really don't get any weeks off. And you've got to kind of look at Division IV, and you go back and look what teams did last year, and I think you look going into this year, River Valley's going to be pretty tough. They graduated very few boys, and being a state semifinalist team, so they're up there. Sholo's a contender again this year. Coolidge, don't look past them this year. Seton Catholic's always tough, and Estrella Foothills brings back a lot of guys, and so most of those teams are on our schedule, other than River Valley. But so we'll kind of see early on where we stand with some of these teams outside our conference, and then our first conference game is Blue Ridge. So our boys have a lot to work for, and I think they realize that each week it's important to stay focused and to stay working hard and keep things rolling and not be satisfied.
Okay. So let's dig into tonight's game against Mingus. You're 3-0 against them so far in the last 3 seasons, I believe. So clearly doing a great job against a school that has been known to produce some great athletes, whether it's in football or other sports. Usually a pretty good-sized team, but you've obviously been able to find the magic to do well against them. And I know you guys review film in advance to try to, get your team prepared. Can you just maybe share some thoughts about the Mingus team that you'll be facing tonight?
Well, you said everything that we've thought about and talked to the boys about. Mingus is a Division III school, 1,300 boys or kids, students in their school, so they get a lot of boys out, a lot of good participation. They always have good size and speed. Coach Bob Young over there's been there for years, kind of like the Paul Morrow over there in the Cottonwood area. Eat them, and so I think tonight for us is important to play assignment football, and in any case is try to keep their offense off the field. So if our offense can be successful, moving the ball, moving the chains, keeping the ball out of their hands, no turnovers and penalties, kinds of things. Usually good things happen when you can do that. So we're expecting a pretty tough fight tonight, and realize that we've got our hands full, but on the same token, we realize that we're not going to grow, we're not going to strengthen as a team unless we're playing opponents that are stronger or as strong as us. And in the long run, we know it's going to help us be better, win or lose, as a football team.
Okay, Coach. And then thinking ahead to tonight's exit out of the locker room, any other key messages you can think of for your team as they head out to the field?
Well, we're excited. It's hard to believe that 2014 football is already here, and it's going to be a great night. A lot of people are saying they're coming out, so we're excited to have a great game.
Very good, Coach. And thank you again for taking your time today to visit with us. We appreciate it. And again, the Snowflake Lobos going up against the Mingus Marauders tonight. Snowflake football's home opener and season opener. And again, Coach, we thank you very much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Punt Cooley with iTalk Radio, sending back to you, Camden.
We're about about 2 minutes away from the countdown. Time now for our Ace Hardware Key Players of the Game, brought to you by the Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, who now has a 24/7 locksmith available 24/7. And any day, night, or day, any time of the day, contact the Ace Hardware. Their mobile unit will come to you. That's the Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pine Top, Lakeside, and Heber Overguard. For the Snowflake Lobos tonight, we'll look forward to watching a guy by the name of Porter Black, who rushed the ball 22 times, 119 yards, about 5.5 yards per carry, 16 per game last year, and last season had 18 catches for 266 yards on the season. Another guy by the name of Tyler Claridge. Was just a sophomore last year, rushed the ball 13 times for 61 yards, and also quarterbacked a little bit. Got in a couple of passes, had a 24-yard reception to his name last season. A 5'9", 150-pound junior will get the start tonight at quarterback for the Lobos. Trevor McCray is another guy that we'll look for tonight, a big key player for the Lobos. Rushed the ball last season, 95 yards, 660 yards, an average of 55 yards per game. Receiving tonight, we'll look to Travis Flake, number 81, the senior, 6'4", 200 pounds, had 23 receptions last season, leading the team in receiving, 431 yards, 9 touchdowns for Travis Flake. We'll look for him to do the same here tonight against Mingus. For the Marauders.
Okay, Camden, well, you know, the Marauders are returning their backfield from last year. Their halfback, Javin Helsel, totaling over 400 yards for the season. Levi Collins, a fullback, over 300 yards. So between the two of them and also a couple of key defensive players returning for the Marauders as well.
More on that in a second, but we're underway here as the Lobos go with some trickery on the opening kickoff. They go with an onside that's covered by the Marauders at their 40-yard line. So a short 60-yard field for the Marauders in their opening possession. Ace Hardware Key Players of the Game, brought to you by the Ace Hardware, who now has a 24/7 locksmith available. That's your Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Sholo, and Heber Overguard. Quarterback for the Marauders.
Quarterback under center.
Hand it off. Jordan Upman, the quarterback tonight, or Upham, I should say. And no gain here, maybe a loss on the play as the Snowflake defensive front takes that and stuffs it right back at the Marauders.
And the middle linebacker, Lane Penrod, if that name sounds familiar, he played for the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets last year. He shoots up the gap on that opening play, and no gain for the Marauders. Great tackle by Penrod.
2nd and 10 from the 40. Man in motion back behind the formation. Whistles and a flag as the pitch goes to Herb Tiffany, who led the team defensively last season with 58 tackles for the Marauders. But the senior wideout here is going to benefit from an offsides against the Snowflake Lobos.
Looked like the defensive end, Flake, may have jumped over Travis Flake, number 81, or one of the linebackers.
2nd down and 5 as the Lobos give up 5 easy yards here without a down ticking off. They run motion again. The keeper and hands going to be knocked down in the backfield. A sack for a loss here as they try to run an option. Herb Tiffany came in motion. Jordan Upham. That time the quarterback is dropped, and they're going to give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage at the 45.
Well, it looked like a defensive lineman, number 66, J.R. Fox, in on the tackle, shooting the gap again, not giving any space to the Marauders so far on that rushing game, are the Lobos.
Upham going to keep around the left side this time. He lunges forward and sets the ball at the 50-yard line, which is the yard to gain. On 3rd and 5, they'll be very close to a first down.
And Upham, the quarterback, just following that lead back up the hole. And as you say, Camden, coming very close. So Mingus here with a decision, 4th and inches at the 50. They're going to go ahead and go for it here.
4th and an inch from midfield strike. Upham under center. Man in motion behind the set. Keeper on the right side. They've got a first down. A Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending. First down.
And again, looking like the same play, but just going the other direction, up and following that lead back. Just going right up that 2, 3, 4 hole, I guess. 4 hole on the right side, enough to get the first down.
I need a legal.
Fresh set of downs. This is Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk. 106.7 KNKI Pine Top. To throw, up him, down the middle, and it is overthrown. And it's a good thing it was, because Kurt Wood was right there defensively and had probably as good a shot at it as did the receiver.
And Kurt Wood, one of the taller guys out there for the Lobos, and his height paying dividends at times. 6'4" frame, able to go up tall and prevent that pass from dropping in. Otherwise, that receiver was behind him just a bit.
Jordan Prouty, the intended receiver. Now 2nd down and 10 for the Marauders. Man in motion, and they go straight ahead. Not much there on the keep. Maybe a yard out to the Snowflake 47.
Well, Jordan Upton, the junior quarterback for Mingus, reading the defensive end that time. Little bit of a delay, but he cuts upfield. Probably the right decision under the circumstances, but again, stiff defensive play by those Lobo linebackers, preventing a big gain.
3rd down and 8. Man in motion. They give to him. He bounces off of one of his own players, Tristan Clark, on the carry, and he gets it out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 1. Call it a gain of 2, and it'll be 4th down and 7. 4th and 6, rather, coming up.
And the big defensive end for Snowflake, 81, Travis Flake, 6'4", 200 senior, in on the tackle.
Marauders going to go for it. Coming here quickly to the line. There's the snap. Looking to throw. Quick fire across the middle. It's caught. And out to the 25-20. Trevor Galloway on the reception. Gets it all the way down to the inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. But a penalty marker thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like they're going to bring it back, holding against Mingus. So the line on that quick pass, the quarterback barely even dropping, maybe one step. You know, their job is to hold back that defensive rush, and apparently one of those big linemen for the Marauders holding the front for Snowflake. So it'll otherwise a great play by the Marauders, their biggest game by far this game, but unfortunately going to get it called back. They're going to get back to their side of the field again at the 45.
It'll erase a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down and pull the ball back out of the red zone and all the way back into Marauder territory at their 44. 4th down and 16. And they show punt here and an end-over-ender. Back to return is Black. He's at the 15 to the 20. Angles to the far side to the 30. Has some room. 35. Cuts it back inside and will be knocked down at the 37. Porter Black with a great return and great field position for Snowflake on their opening possession.
Herb Tiffany, 5'11", 160 senior, coming back and laying out Black on that punt return, but nevertheless, good starting field position for the Lobos here on their first possession.
Herb Tiffany defensively had 58 tackles last season in his junior year. The senior 6'3", 160-pound defensive player and offensive player goes both ways for the Marauders. 1st down and 10. Lobos with the counter come to the left side. Room at the 40. And knocked down at the 41. The ball carrier that time is Drew Snyder.
Hey, Lobo 1, Lobo 1.
To bring up 2nd and 6.
Might be all right.
Snyder, a 5'10", 160-pound senior. He carried the ball 23 times last season for 191 yards.
Flag on the play.
And we get a penalty.
Encroachment on the defense.
On the defense. So the defense, the Marauders this time giving up 5 easy yards.
Well, a good start here by the Lobos. Of course, that first run gaining good yardage, and then now with that penalty puts them in great position with only 2nd down. We'll see if they take advantage of this short yardage here and maybe toss up a pass here.
Opening paragraph of the first, and another penalty as we got another player lined up in the neutral zone. This time I believe it's number 61, Andre May.
Another encroachment on the defense.
The senior defensive lineman gives the Snowflake Lobos a Lacey Weeks and Supreme Lending first down.
Well, you know, last week, Camden, we saw Sholo in that Williamsfield game. The victors, Williamsfield, able to come out with the victory, but not after having just a ton of penalties. And, you know, it's certainly not going to help this Mingus team any if they continue that trend.
Number 84. Shift up on number 22 on Mingus Marauders, Orlando Machado. Pick up a roll, color 1.
That was Drew Snyder for Snowflake, the 5'10 senior on the carry. A gain of about 1.5 yards.
7:02 left to play here in the first quarter. They pitch. McCray, right side, has 4. Upended at the 45, near the 45.
Trevor McCray.
They're going to mark him down at the 46. Herb Tiffany on the tackle for the Marauders.
And an outstanding block out on that edge by the big tight end, Travis Flake, number 81 for Snowflake. Able to cut that defender to allow that seam for McCray.
And in motion towards the formation, they hand it to Snyder. He gets hit at the 50, slips that one with a stiff arm, and then knocked down by a couple of defenders. Garrett Story, one of them by the Marauders. He gets back to the 47, a loss of 1 on the play.
Well, Garrett Story and Alec Pfeiffer, both for Mingus, reading that play very well, stretching it out, not only stretching it out towards the sideline, but then coming in strong for a big hit and a tackle. So a little bit of a loss there for Snowflake, bringing up 4th down.
Lobos come to the line of scrimmage, and at the 30, call it the 47-yard line. They go play action, roll right, caught at the 42, close to a first down. Catch is made by Zach Solomon.
Zach Solomon, a sophomore, just doing an outstanding job. That pass, he was open, and I credit the quarterback for finding him, but he had to dip down a little while he was running backwards to grab that pass, and just an outstanding reception there by Solomon to get the first down.
A Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for the Lobos. As the Lobos hand to McCray again up the middle. McCray fighting through traffic, lowers his shoulder, and gets to the 35-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 36. Jordan Vincent, one of those on the tackle by the Marauders.
One of the big defensive linemen for the Marauders is Vincent, only a sophomore, 6 foot, 230-pounder, but the Marauders that time on that play doing a great job of just clogging up the line of scrimmage. McCray did what he could with the space he had, but still a good defensive response by Mingus.
Man in motion is McCray. They hand it off straight up the middle. Big hole to the 30. Close to a Lacey Weeks and Supreme Lending first down. Zach Solomon on the carry for Snowflake across the 30-yard line to the 26. Call it the 27.
Well, again, that outside motion and action by the Lobos, and then countering back up the middle left a big gap inside that defensive line, and Solomon doing an outstanding job of taking advantage of the space provided and running forward, as you said, Camden, for another first down.
Wide receiver to the far side of the set for Snowflake. And a single man in motion crosses the formation, handed straight ahead. And we go to the 25-yard line as the Lobos able to pick up some decent yardage to the 25. And with 3 minutes 56 seconds left here in the first quarter, no score. Lobos threatening here at the Marauder 25. A 2nd and 8 coming up.
Orlando Machado, the outside linebacker for Mingus, on that tackle, doing a great job of just submarining at the ankles of the quarterback to bring him down.
Porter Black checks into the Lobo lineup, lines up as the tight end on the left side. Man in motion is McCray behind the quarterback, and a pump fake, and in trouble in the backfield. It's Tyler Claridge. Claridge is going to be dumped for the loss as we get a penalty marker thrown. At the point of attack, Trevor Galloway credited with the sack for the Marauders.
Well, Trevor Galloway, another one of those big sophomores from Mingus, 6'4", 200 pounds, doing an outstanding job of fighting through, and the penalty will be called against Snowflake for holding, but Mingus will decline, and they're going to take the down here, it looks like. Nevertheless, Trevor Galloway doing just a great job of cutting through that block, getting his paws on Claridge, the quarterback, and bringing him down for the sack.
Well, they had a chance to pin the Lobos back to the Marauder 42 on that play, or near the 42. As it is, the sack dropped them back to the 34, where it's third down and about 20 to go. Looking to throw. It is caught at the 35, to the 30, 25, and knocked out of bounds. It's Solomon on the reception.
Number 28, Zach Solomon.
And Zach Solomon picks up a lot of those lost yards on that previous play.
Well, great play calling also by the Snowflake Lobos coaches. Little screen there, backside screen, and Solomon has that big line out in front of him, takes full advantage and just drives forward to pick up a chunky yard. Still fourth down, but in much better position than they were to start.
Man in motion behind the formation is McCray, looking for Flake, and he got it! Caught by Flake inside the 10! A Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for Snowflake.
Well, just a great grab by Flake, using that tall frame of his, going up high pointing the ball and bringing it down, and actually going up one of the taller defenders for Mingus. Holy smokes, he's got I'm not going to even take a stab at the name here, but he's 6'3", 160, the safety for Mingus. Credit Flake for just going up tall there and grabbing that pass.
Tyler Claridge lines up in the gun. He's going to keep it right side. He goes across the 5 and will be knocked down inside the 5-yard line.
Okay, I'm going to take a stab at the safety's name. Jamal Monsibez. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll take it.
All right, we'll just call him Jamal from here on out.
Second and goal inside the 5. Ball spotted at the 3-yard line, and Snowflake wants a timeout. We'll take one with him. 2:23 left to play first quarter. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Certain teams. Mark Corey.
Cool party. What do you guys want to drink? Can I have a head-on collision with a concussion twist?
Make mine a fatal accident with no survivors.
And you?
A designated driver, please. You know, just a bottle of water.
Awesome.
You're a lifesaver.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School as the Marauders got their backs against the wall here tonight. 2:23 left to play first quarter, opening possession for the Snowflake Lobos, and they've taken it they've got about 65 yards, 67 yards, and a direct snap to Black. He's going to carry it in from 3 yards out. Snowflake's on the board first.
Well, Coach Ron Tenny has to be feeling really good about his Lobos and their execution on this first possession. Just an outstanding job. You got to credit the left side of that line, just wall blocking straight ahead and allowing quarterback to find that little gap in between a couple of the linemen there, just driving through for that first touchdown. Outstanding job by that Snowflake line on that play.
And they'll come on, and they look like they're going to try a two-point conversion here. Direct snap to Black again. Black throws towards the end zone, the right side of the end zone, and it's incomplete. As I believe they tried to get to Flake over there on the right side. Nathan Petty in on the defense. So the two-point conversion fails, and with 2:18 left to play first quarter, it is Snowflake up 6-0. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Okay, cheerleaders are done. Garrison touchstone.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Well, it's kind of interesting that Snowflake decides to go for a two-point conversion punt, but they lead it 6-0 early.
Yeah, that is interesting because we know they have good kickers. Coach Tenny obviously feeling with that touchdown early, maybe feeling just to get as many points up as he can quickly in the game.
Porter Black to kick, kicks it, picked up near the 6. Tristan Clark carries for the Marauders, brings it back up the hash marks on the far side, gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Lane Penrod. Check it. We'll check the tackle here for a moment. Zach Solomon, I believe, in on the stop for Snowflake. At the 24-yard line. It'll be the Marauders' second possession of the game with 2:12 left to play first quarter. They're trailing 6-0. Reminder to stick around to our halftime comments brought to you by the Sunrise Park Resort. Great things happening at Sunrise over the Labor Day weekend. We'll tell you more about it coming up. As the hand goes to Clark this time, and Clark gets it across the 25. Will be upended near the 27. Lane Penrod in on the stop for Snowflake.
So counter action by Mingus off that dive, fake dive on the left side, countering back to Clark, and gaining a few yards here on their second drive, first possession. Or first play, I'm sorry, the second drive, second possession.
Ball spotted at the 20. Looks like it's going to be at the 28. Man in motion. They pitch to him. That's Clark. He cuts it up the field. Gets inside the end that time and crosses the 30-yard line after it looked like Flake had him back at the 25. Penalty marker thrown in the backfield.
Yeah, looks like this might go against Mingus.
Drew Schneider.
Yeah. Chop block against Mingus, but again, despite the penalty, outstanding play by the defensive end for Snowflake, Travis Flake, sliding out to get that tackle, quickly adjusting to that outside rush. So Mingus again, Camden, so far struggling with penalties, which have been pretty much just kind of stifling their ability to drive the ball down the field.
We'll replay second.
1:29 left to play first quarter. 6-0.
After the enforcement of the
Lobos lead and get a big break here instead of second down and 6. The penalty's going to drop Mingus back to their 19. Second and 16 to go. On second and 16, they look to throw to the near side, little screen set up, caught, 20, 25, and Groff on the reception lowers his shoulder at the 30 and bangs his way down to the 33. Andrew Brimhall and Porter Black in on the collision.
Well, Porter Black, the Lobo defender, coming out of that safety position, ultimately the player to drive him out of bounds, but a much needed gain for Mingus if they're going to want to continue this drive.
Jordan Upham under center for the Marauders, and a 3rd down and 2 to go. Man in motion behind the formation, and now they're going to step back and call an audible here. Upham resetting the offense. Set the man in motion again with 2 receivers to the left. Upham in trouble, dumped in the backfield. How about that?
Number 65 for the Lobos, Wyatt McKinley, the 5'10 senior, coming right, just flashing right out of his defensive line position, firing through. The quarterback never even had a chance to take a step before getting tackled by McKinley.
Wyatt McKinley last season didn't get a lot of playing time, and he's made his presence known here. Return man for the Snowflake Lobos is Porter Black. He slips and falls at the 28, unable to return that punt as it goes all the way back to the 21, where Snowflake will have their 2nd possession of the game. So 2 failed possessions by the Marauders, and Snowflake leads here 6-0 with 47 seconds left in the 1st quarter. So far, we've seen a lot of running by both of these teams.
It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, you know, Mingus was able to get that big pass away early, unfortunately called back for them, but other than that, you got to credit the Snowflake defense just doing an outstanding job, especially against the run, stifling that Marauder rushing game early here in the 1st quarter.
Tyler Claridge hands it off to Solomon. Solomon out across the 25, a gain of about 5 to the 26. Andre May on the stop for the Marauders, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Call it 2nd and 6.
Again, Andre May, one of those big defensive linemen for Mingus, 6'1", 215-pound senior, just sliding over and really wrestling Solomon down. Solomon doing a great job tonight so far for the Lobos, just running very aggressively through those gaps up the middle when he's been getting the handoffs.
Drew Snyder wide to the right, low snap, handled by Claridge. Claridge runs out of receivers and takes it up the middle. Andre May will tackle him near the 29, and that'll end the quarter. When we return, it'll be Snowflake football. They'll have a 3rd down and 2 from their own 29-yard line. They lead it 6-0. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Turn, sis.
How'd you like to walk home?
No backseat drivers, Toby. You're doing fine, Jill.
Dad, I've been meaning to ask, have you ever smoked marijuana?
Okay. Why do you ask?
It's getting legalized everywhere now, so it's okay to do now,
Are you serious, Toby? It's not legal everywhere yet.
And it's not legal for kids at all. Watch for the sign.
I see it. Most of my friends say that because it's becoming legal, teenagers might be more likely to try it.
Legal or not, marijuana, like all drugs, is harmful to teens still developing brains and can cause permanent damage.
Not that Jill has a brain to damage.
Come on. It also causes heart and respiratory problems as well. And using marijuana often leads to use of other drugs.
Like heroin?
That's right. But remember, even marijuana is addictive, and just a little can affect you.
But Dad, marijuana has been around forever.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School. The Lobos lead 6-0 with the football, facing a 3rd down and 2 over at Blue Ridge High School. The Yellow Jackets playing Prescott, and they were down 14-0, but have scored a touchdown. They are now down by 1 touchdown, 14-7. That game in the 1st half. Lobos with a 6-0 lead here as we open the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 2. They go straight ahead. McCray fighting his way forward, going to be stacked up and pushed backward. They gets forward progress to the 30. And a marker thrown.
Late flag flying in, Camden. Not sure what's going on. Some sort of an exchange, it looked like, after the play right near the line of scrimmage.
Somebody not.
Snowflake's walking back, so.
Oh, unsportsmanlike against Snowflake here. An uncharacteristic play penalty here by Snowflake. Coach Tenny's not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, they were in a position, even after that play would have been 4th down and short yardage. But now clearly a punting situation for Snowflake, being right at their 15-yard line.
We'll check in with Brandon Todd here. Find out if he knows what happened down there. Brandon?
Yeah, thanks, Camden. I didn't see any pushing or shoving. I was right there on the play. I think it might have been just some choice words said from the Snowflake Lobos that caused that unsportsmanlike conduct.
All right, thanks, Brandon. As Snowflake now in a bit of a hole, 4th down and 17. They show punt formation and don't have enough personnel out on the field.
Timeout.
Snyder comes over and says, hey, where are we supposed to be here? How are we supposed to be lined up? They have 11 men, 1, 2.
That's Lobos' second timeout of the half.
Yeah, they have enough men. They just didn't have the formation set. With that, it'll give us a chance to talk to Brandon a little bit more. Brandon, what's the atmosphere down there in this season opener?
Well, I'm over here on the Mingus sidelines, and it's quiet. You know, the Mingus fans, they showed up in the 10s. There's probably 30 people over here, and even on the sidelines, it just seems kind of. I mean, they're only down 6-0, but you know, they haven't had 2 great offensive possessions, so it's just it's kind of boring over here, to tell you the truth. I think I'm going to make my way over to the Snowflake sidelines and see what the atmosphere is like over there, Camden.
All right, thanks, Brandon. 11:27 left to play here. Opening paragraph of the second. And set to punt. Tiffany back to receive. Black taking a bunch of steps. It took him about 5 steps to get it off. And it bounces at the 48. Rolls to the Mingus 48. And it's picked up by Travis Flake. And we got
8-yard line.
Explanation perhaps for that punt. Let's check in with Ron Everingham. Ron?
Yeah, just noticed that Coach Tenny called that a rugby punt when he was calling that in for the play, and that's exactly what it kind of looked like.
Thanks a lot, Ron. And you know, they do that running punt every once in a while where they get him to run outside. Looks like it might be a rush, but that one he ran it right up the middle, looked like, and punted it after about 5 steps. Play action, throwing down the middle, wide open. Tiffany at the 20, it's caught, and Porter Black hauls him in at the 14. Big catch on 1st down for the Marauders, and they are in the red zone, threatening here, down 6-0.
Well, Herb Tiffany, the 5'11 senior, just doing a go route right down the middle of the field, as you say, Camden, beating the secondary, and a nice throw by the quarterback, Jordan Upham, hitting him in stride. So, and this time not being called back. So the biggest play of the game so far for Mingus puts him in scoring position here.
Upham under center. 2 receivers to the right. Man in motion behind the formation. They hand it off and go off tackle, rather. Left side. The handoff is given to Tiffany, who has about a yard to the 12, where he's knocked down there.
Credit J.R. Fox for the Lobos, the defensive lineman, sophomore, 6'3", 250, doing a great job of just following down the line and bringing down the rusher.
Jason Groth, the single back in the backfield, is Upham under center, sets a man in motion behind the formation. Will try to keep to the right side and will be dropped for a loss on the play. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Wyatt McKinley standing his ground that time for the Snowflake Lobos.
Well, and Jordan Upham, the quarterback, he liked to keep the ball, looked like an option read there, but he had absolutely no space, running right into the teeth of that defensive front from Snowflake, actually maybe even losing a little. So that brings up 3rd down for the Mingus Marauders.
3rd and 9 from the Lobo 12. Man in motion behind the formation is Tiffany. And they pitch to Tiffany. He sweeps right at the 10, tries to cut it upfield, still on his feet. But they say he stepped out of bounds as Drew Schneider put a lick at him over there at the 6-yard line. They're going to give him the 5-yard line, but he'll be short of a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling 1st down. At the 5, he'll be 2 yards short.
Well, we see good speed from Tiffany. Goes into that speed sweep motion, that quick pitch out, and he's actually able to beat the Snowflake defenders to the edge. You got to credit the secondary for Snowflake, however, for coming over, pushing him out before he does get the 1st down.
On 4th down, they're going to go for it. Pitch it, and Tristan Clark turned upfield. Porter Black, first man there for the Lobos, knocks him down at the 5-yard line, and it'll be a turnover on down. Snowflake holds on 4th down.
Great job defensively by Snowflake. Mingus trying the same play, going the different side, the other side. But just a great defensive response by Snowflake, learning their lesson from the previous play, shutting down the edge that time and getting the turnover on down. So just outstanding response by the Snowflake Lobos when they really truly needed it.
9.5 left to play, second quarter. Snowflake out of the shadows of their own goal post. They try to get straight up the middle. And I didn't see what happened back there. Let's see if Brandon Todd had a better view. Brandon?
You're absolutely right. No. Let me correct. You're absolutely wrong. I had no view of it. I was walking behind the Snowflake bench, and I just got out of it when the play was done. Sorry about that, Camden.
That's all right. Thanks, Brandon. Second down and 12. Second and 13.
Make sure to get out.
For the Lobos. Ball back at the 2-yard line where they didn't get much of a surge on that play. And now, Claridge will work out of his end zone. Hand to Snyder, sweeping left, has some room across the 5 to the 7-yard line where he's upended. Tripped up there after a gain of about 6. Alec Pfeiffer on the stop for the Marauders.
5 on the play.
So a good gain where Snowflake really needed some space, being pressed up against that goal line. Gain of about 5, so it gives them a little bit of breathing room here with third down coming up.
$8:15 left to play here in the second quarter. And a 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Caught by Flake at the 20. He's struck down from behind at the 29. Claridge to Flake for a Lacey Weeks and Supreme Lending first down.
Well, actually some decent coverage by Jordan Prouty for the Mingus Marauders
About 17
in the secondary. He was right on Flake, but again, that tall frame of Flake, 6'4", 200-pound senior, making a great target for the quarterback Claridge, who hits him in stride. So just an outstanding play to get the first down here for Snowflake.
First down and 10. 6-0 Snowflake. Claridge in the gun, stands at his 25, sets Snyder in motion across the formation, hand to Solomon. Solomon up the middle, bangs his way to the 35.
Takes the pile.
Big surge that time on first down as Snowflake starting to open up the running game.
Gain of 5.
Trevor Galloway, the 6'4", 200-pound sophomore, one of the defensive ends, coming up and making the tackle, but not after a great effort by Solomon just to eke out as many yards as he could in a pretty congested part of the field.
Between the tackles, it's been tough tonight for both teams, but that one opens up for 5. Quick pass to McRae. McRae's caught it at the 45. A Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling. First down for the Lobos. Let's check in now with Brandon Todd.
Thanks, Camden. On that last third down conversion, a 20-yard pass by Claridge, I told one of the Snowflake coaches, said, man, that quarterback's got an arm. He said, well, yeah, he's a multi-sport athlete. He's also a pitcher. And so that, he's not a big guy by any means, but he's got a heck of an arm on him, as you could see on that last play as well. So, but it makes sense. He's also a pitcher. And me being a baseball coach, I'm not really happy about that coming up on baseball season.
His allegiance is to the wrong team, I'm afraid. And the
flag on the play.
Play is blown dead on first down here.
Well, number 5 for Mingus, Isaac Romero, outside linebacker, sophomore, edges up to the line, but right before the ball snapped, he's actually over the line of scrimmage, so they're going to call the encroachment again. I'm not sure how many penalties that is for Mingus, but it's starting to tally. Okay, they're 4th for the game, and I think it's their 3rd encroachment penalty.
It's been a long time since I've seen that many encroachment penalties. Usually figure it out after the first one, but 5 easy yards, 1st and 5 coming up. Hand it to Snyder, reverse, give it to McRae. McRae comes, disarms a player at the 50, gets away from it at the 45, knocked out of bounds, still on his feet at the 35, and he'll finally get knocked out of bounds at the 32. And look at the Snowflake sideline.
Well, you can see the coaches giving high fives to Trevor McRae. That was just an awesome run. He was actually caught not too far past the line of scrimmage by a defender coming up. I missed the number for Mingus, but able to fight through that arm tackle and then gain extra yards, take on another round of hits from the second wave of defenders, fight through that, and still gain another couple of yards. So just exceptional job by Trevor McRae, the senior for Snowflake. Just outstanding running.
McRae, one of the top underclassmen last season, 95 carries, 660 yards last year for the Lobos, and he's turning up some yardage here tonight. And the pass reception made to McRae on a quick slant, caught near the 22-yard line, close to a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down on first down. Goes for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1 coming up.
So as you say, Camden, they split McRae out that time on that left side, just slant him in underneath the corner and also underneath that outside linebacker. So well-designed play under the circumstances, giving Snowflake another big gain here.
Claridge in the gun, takes a snap, hands it to McRae. McRae slipping another tackle, leaps over a player and is knocked down near the 20-yard line, down at the 20, actually at the 19. They give him forward progress out to the 18. Good for a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending, first down.
And again, Herb Tiffany, that senior safety, we've called his name a few times for Mingus, coming up from his safety position to get just past that line of scrimmage to make a tackle. So he's been putting in the work tonight for the Marauders, has Tiffany.
Tight sets across the line for Snowflake. Shotgun snap to Claridge. Has a man wide open. Black at the goal line. Caught. Touchdown. Snowflake. Porter Black. 18 yards on the reception.
And Black just running a post route into that corner and beating the cornerback, Garrett Story, who was at least 5 steps behind the senior corner for Mingus, not having a chance against Black. So just
that makes the score.
That'll be the second touchdown, both by Black so far in the contest for the Lobos.
First passing touchdown on the season for Claridge. And with 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining, Snowflake on to try a 2-point conversion, and their right tackle jumps the gun, it appears.
Well, you could see Porter Black, who was in the quarterback position in the shotgun, give a really hard count. Looked like they were maybe trying to draw off Mingus, perhaps, but instead, as you said, Camden, just allowing his right tackle to jump offside. So Snowflake going to have to go another extra 5 yards here to get the extra point.
Brandon thought that was a bad call, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I was giving the sideline referee here a little grief there. He's also a baseball umpire, so I recognize him. I don't know if I consider us friends, but we know each other, so I was giving him a little grief. He said that better not have been on the radio.
Just did. On to try the point after from the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard attempt, and it is no good. That one, Brenton Bauer didn't quite get the snap, or something happened there. I don't know.
Kicked it maybe a little low. That one looked like it went underneath the crossbar, but as you said, no good on the kick.
So with 4:59 left to play here before halftime, it's Snowflake up 12-0. We'll step away. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
That's low. Look, he's blushing.
Do you know a young...
Welcome back. The Snowflake Lobos with a 12-0 lead over Mingus. at the Blue Ridge Prescott game. Prescott up 20-7 over Blue Ridge. And a line drive kick, or a short hop kick rather, right up the center of the field. It's going to be picked up at the 23. Tiffany picks it up and carries back for the Marauders across the 25, knocked down at the 27. Keegan Bjorn on the tackle.
Also Kurt Wood, the junior, 6'4", 165-pound junior, in on that tackle for Snowflake. In Camden, it's worth mentioning the quarterback for Snowflake, Tyler Claridge, the junior, having an outstanding night so far, going 7 for 7 on his passing, 91 yards.
Outstanding night for Claridge, especially given the fact he only threw 2 passes last year rather. Sure, he threw more than that last week in the scrimmage. It's like Groff on the carry. And he has 2 on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 8 coming up.
And again, not much room for Mingus up front between the tackles. You got to credit that Snowflake defensive front for just doing an outstanding job for filling gaps and plugging those holes against this Mingus offense.
Jason Groth, a 5'10", 170-pound sophomore for Mingus. Upham in trouble. 2-step drop, looking for a quick pass, and nothing there. A defensive secondary sack this time, as he'll be dropped for a loss of 1 back to the 33.
Well, play action that time by Jordan Upham, the quarterback, fakes the dive, and as you said, looks up quickly, looking for a slant route through the middle, but could not find the open man.
3 minutes, 47 seconds left before halftime. 3rd down and 7 from the Marauder 33. Upham going to keep, slips a tackle. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. He could go, no. Had one man to beat. Lane Penrod forces him out of bounds near the 30-yard line. They'll knock him down. They'll mark him down at the 34.
Well, Jordan Upham, as he leaves the pocket, just makes an outstanding move on the defensive end for Snowflake, number 81, Travis Flake. Just makes a quick cut in and then bounces out, leaving Flake in his dust as he cuts that corner. We could see great speed that time from the quarterback for Mingus, Jordan Upham.
It is a Lacey Wiggs and Supreme Lending 1st down.
Number 10 under center.
And in the backfield. And a throw down to the right side by Upham. Upham hit as he throws. And an injured player in the backfield of the Marauders. The pass is incomplete. Play prior to that went 35 yards. This one incomplete, brings up 2nd down and 10.
Well, one of the blocking backs for Mingus, number 44, Tristan Clark Jr., is the player injured. Apparently getting rolled over or something by a lineman. It looks like his knee or ankle, but he trots off. So Mingus will go here on 2nd down.
Clock stopped at the 3.5-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, and Snowflake wants a timeout. We'll take one with him. 12-0 Snowflake. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names everywhere that I go.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School. 3.5 left to play in the 2nd. Snowflake up 12-0. Marauders threatening here though. After the Snowflake timeout, they'll have the football at the 34, and Snowflake taking a lot of time in their timeout. Officials have yet to mark the ball for play, though, so perhaps getting some extra time as part of the home field advantage tonight. 4-man front for Snowflake on 2nd and 10 from the Snowflake 34. The Marauders pitch it to Tiffany. Tiffany cuts it upfield at the 30 and will be knocked down at the 26.
Brought down by number 42.
And Kurt Wood on the tackle for Snowflake. They spot the ball just shy of the 25.
Kurt Wood, the 6'4" junior for Snowflake, having to come up from his cornerback position, it looks like, to bring down Tiffany after a pretty good gain, as you said, Camden. So it's going to be 3rd and short here for the Marauders.
3rd down and 1. Upham under center, sets a man in motion behind the formation. Handed off, first man through to Groth. And Groth has got the carry out across the 25. Good for a Mountain Comfort heated and cooling first down to the Snowflake 22.
Well, Jason Groth, as you mentioned earlier, Camden, for Mingus, only a sophomore, 5'10", 170-pounder, but clearly one of those backs they like to go to in those short yardage situations. As we can see from that last run, that kid's got a lot of power in his legs.
2.5 left to play before halftime. Clock rolling here. Marauders trail by 12. Fresh set of downs from the Snowflake 22. Upham rather, looking to pass. Now he'll carry around the left end. He'll be knocked out of bounds by Travis Flake, but not before he picks up good yardage inside the 15, knocked down at the 12.
And again, we saw good speed again from Upham, exploding once he turns that corner, just explosive speed going up. Upfield north-south, but a great tackle by Flake. Flake actually moving all the way over from the opposite defensive end position, just sliding down that line of scrimmage, getting in position to push him out.
They actually mark him out at the 15. And it's 2nd down and 2 now for the Marauders. Man in motion behind the formation. Upham hands it off. No, reverse. Give to Tiffany. Has the first down. Stood up at the 5. And he'll have the 4-yard line. And
Porter Black
Marauders will have 4 cracks at it from inside the 5. Porter Black on the stop.
Yeah, sorry about that, Camden. Porter Black does come over, but again, good action motion by the Marauders that time, moving right and getting that defensive flow moving right with them, and then they counter back to Tiffany, who's really been a workhorse tonight for Mingus.
12-0 Snowflake. Marauders set a man in motion, whistle and flags. They'll blow this play dead. And we get a procedure call against Mingus.
Well, you know, this is the 2nd time we've seen Mingus down in kind of the scoring in the red zone against Snowflake. Their first time, they were not able to convert, so we'll see what they can do here with less than 2 minutes left in the half.
So now 1st and goal from the 9. Upham, man in motion behind the set. They'll pitch to him, sweeping right. It's Tristan Clark. Cuts it upfield at the 10. Sets a tackle at the 5 and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Mingus. 9 yards on the carry.
Well, I tell you, I'm trying to get the number of the Mingus. It looks like number 8. That laying a block out on that defensive end, or is that Tiffany? Herb Tiffany, just an outstanding block to free up that run by Tristan Clark. But you also have to credit Clark for that 2nd effort after getting hit right at the sideline. Looked like he might go out of bounds, but just an explosion of effort right in that last yard, getting the first touchdown for the Marauders here with just 1:30 left in the 2nd quarter.
Well, now the Marauders with a decision to make here with 1:30 left before halftime. Trailing by 6. Do they go for 2 or do they try the point after try?
Well, our statistician says 1. Go for the kick. For good reason, but
I guess it depends on your kicker.
It does. It looks like they're going to go. I would say go for 2 with only 12 points.
If they go for 2
against you, they've got the quarterback under center lined up anyway, as they wait for the Snowflake defense to get lined out and get the whistle to start the play here. But yep, they're going to go for 2.
Upham under center. And the 2-point conversion, hand it right side to Levi Collins, and Collins will be a yard short.
No good.
Failed 2-point conversion. 1.5 to play before halftime. It is Mingus on the board, finally, trailing by 6. Lobos up 12-6. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
My friend Alex was diagnosed with cancer. So I put on a concert with tons of other kids so they could help raise money and lift his spirits.
It's a very good feeling to volunteer.
Kids can really make a difference.
Helping other people in my community.
To do something bigger than myself.
Start at a young age and keep promoting the spirit of volunteerism as you go throughout your life.
Young students make a big difference when they volunteer. Encourage them to learn more about the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards. Visit spirit.prudential.com.
High school.
Fielded at the 6.
And Drew Snyder back to receive. Will carry
turquoisey.
back to the 25-yard line.
You're back on hot.
And so Snowflake
Drew Snyder
with 1:23 left to play after giving up a touchdown.
brought out to about the 25.
Up by 6 points at the moment. We'll try to put some points up before intermission.
Minute 23 left in the half.
And we apologize to our
received a ticket.
Folks listening on the radio. We've got a pretty sketchy connection at the moment here from Snowflake High School. We'll try to get that cleared up for you, but no guarantees. Snap, and here comes Claridge. Claridge going to keep, and Claridge slips a tackler, drags a tackler with him, carries a tackler with him out across the 25 to the 29. We get a scoring update from Blue Ridge High School.
Well, we're getting a text here from, just got a text from our good friend Bill London. It looks like now Prescott up 29-7 with 2:53 left in the second quarter.
.49 seconds and the clock rolling here. I'm not sure if Snowflake too worried about the clock. Probably happy to take a 6-point lead with them. Sweep right, McCray dips inside, now goes to the outside, tripped up at the 30, falls forward to the 31. Garrett Storr on the tackle.
Looks like number 87 was
Zeke Romero, also the sophomore linebacker, coming up to assist on that tackle.
Our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show's coming up, where we'll have a special interview with the Snowflake Unified School District to talk about their halftime festivities here. Pass caught by Solomon. First down, 40, out to the 44-yard line. Solomon picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down, but the clock has expired. Has the horn sounded yet?
I have not heard it, but there are zeros, that, and they are going to say that is the end of the second quarter.
That's the end of the half. Snowflake taking a 12-6 lead.
After one half a play, it's Lobos
to the locker room here at intermission.
Marauders 6.
Our halftime festivities. We'll have an interview with Mr. Merrow from the Snowflake Unified School District as they honor students that meet the state requirements
sports season. We rally around
of exceeds on their AIMS testing, and a whole lot more as we recap the first half for you, plus another scoring update from Blue Ridge High School as Blue Ridge takes on Prescott. Right now it's Snowflake on top of Mingus 12-6. We'll step away. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
One of only two. Junior high is the highest performing middle school for junior high in the county. Highland Primary is also an A school, and Taylor Elementary By 1 point.
Dad, have you ever smoked marijuana?
Why do you ask?
It's getting legalized everywhere now, so it's okay to do now, right?
It's not legal for kids at all. Watch for the sign.
I see it. Most of my friends say that because it's becoming legal, teenagers might be more likely to try it.
Marijuana, like all drugs, is harmful to teens still developing brains and can cause heart and respiratory problems as well. And using marijuana often leads to use of other drugs.
Like heroin?
That's right, but remember, today's marijuana is much more potent than it was back then.
Talk now and talk often about substance use. It's all about your kid's future.
And there's the kick. It's a low line drive kick. He's up across the 20. He's got the 25 hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up.
You've got a minute
Do you
and 10
know a
seconds.
young hero? Someone under 18 who is helping others in your community or around the world.
We need young heroes now more than ever.
The Barron Prize for Young Heroes recognizes 25 young people who are making a difference.
Dream big. Everyone can make a difference.
If you know a young hero, nominate them today. Go to barronprize.org. That's barronprize.org.
Deal in town, and no need to worry about credit with our goal of 100% credit approvals. Just raise your trade.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Drive with confidence for life with a lifetime engine warranty from Showroom Ford, your friendly family Ford dealer, trusted for the east end of the
10 seconds. Here's your.
Don't forget, great activities happening at Sunrise for the Labor Day weekend. Check it out at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com as we go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Thanks, Camden. Yeah, I'm here with Superintendent of the Snowflake School District, Hollis Merrill. Hollis, leading up to that halftime, I saw just hordes of kids flooding over here behind the end zone. We just saw them run out under a teacher tunnel. Tell me what that was all about.
Well, tonight we thought it would be a good opportunity to recognize our students that have been working hard in the classroom. We're proud of all of our students, and we've seen tremendous growth from students at all levels. But those were the ones that exceeded the standard on the Ames test. One portion or more of English, math, or science, reading, writing, or math, I guess I could say as well. And so we're just celebrating some of the success we've had in the classroom. It's an awesome night to do it. We get to show our support for our school coming to football games, but that's not all we do. And obviously, we're excited about some of the things that have been happening in the classroom.
About how many students just ran out? Because it took about 3 minutes for it to quit. And what age groups? What grade levels were represented just now?
We had over 420 students that we gave free tickets to come to the game tonight and get to run out. I don't think they all came tonight with the holiday weekend. I don't know. We had several hundred at least out there tonight, so it was really nice.
Sorry. Snowflake's not only succeeding on the football field, but also in the classroom. It's a good testament to how you run your program and your schools. Hollis Merrill, the superintendent of Snowflake School District, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Camden?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Brandon, and thanks to Hollis Merrill. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to him. It's really amazing what Snowflake does here. You take a look at all their programs. Right now we get a chance to look at their band, and this is one of the biggest bands in Division III.
Absolutely. You know, they've always just done a great job working all these kids through all the different levels. You can see it, you know, for any parent that's been involved with sports or other activities. Snowflake's just always done an outstanding job, whether it's through the school or just as a community, and really engaging these kids at young ages and getting them into just keeping active and just providing all kinds of opportunities for them. And, you know, we've benefited greatly also, Camden, with the City 4 productions, with the steady support we've been getting from the high school on the media side of things too. So just an outstanding job all the way around by the Snowflake School District.
Of course, we want to say thank you to Denise Westover, the director of the media department here at Snowflake High School, providing the students to bring you the live shots of tonight's contest, available at iTalk1067.com. That's ITALK1067.com. Our technical crew, special thanks to Chris Valandra, Forrest Fish, and Zach Lambert. Audio, Leah Flake, Fernando Chi. Graphics tonight, Travis Plummer. Our camera operators, Zach Perkins, Kristen Fowler, Brian Hanlon, Joseph Hamlin, Trent Kleinman, Chuck Williams. Advisors, of course, as we mentioned, Denise Westover, the Snowflake Film and TV Advisor, and Jerry Butler, the Sholo Film and TV Advisor. Our executive producer from City 4 TV, Mel West, along with Curtis Stevens tonight. And as always, games will be replayed next week on City 4 TV, available on Monday and Friday at 7 o'clock. And you can also watch it at 1:30 on Saturdays. These games replayed on City 4 TV, also available on Channel 56 if you have the new digital upgrade from Cable One. Big thanks to all those who put this production on. It's always a terrific production, and reminder that if you'd like to get involved, you can help to sponsor these students who get a chance to get some real-world application, a real chance to learn the industry, so to speak, as they get a chance to put some finer points on their resume by doing this. And you can support that by contacting Mel West at City 4 TV to find out how you can donate to the White Mountain Youth Productions.
Well, it's, you know, we've been doing, this is our second year. Am I losing track of years here? It seems like I always do. But, you know, it's just, it adds much more of a dimension to the whole production, of course, you know, for fans that are out there that are wanting to check in on these high school games. But also just a great opportunity for all of us to meet some outstanding kids that work hard. You know, we get to see 2 hours of football approximately, but you know, the hours before and after that go into these productions is you know, it makes for a pretty long day, and they just do hard work, and hopefully they, as you mentioned, Camden, it's great training for them, and hopefully they take away with some not only a better resume, but you know, a lot of skills that will serve them well into the future.
Well, we recap the first half for you. Snowflake on the board first. In fact, they got the first 2 touchdowns tonight. They, with a couple of quick ones, both their opening possessions, first 2 possessions go for touchdowns. 2:18 left in the first quarter. Snowflake, after they stymied Mingus on the opening possession, able to go about 65 yards and got a 3-yard carry by Porter Black to cap the drive off. Their 2-point conversion failed. But they get another touchdown late in the second quarter, or early in the second quarter, I should say, on an 18-yard pass reception from Porter Black, or to Porter Black from Claridge. PAT's no good, and at that point they were up 12-0. But with a minute and a half left to play in the second, Mingus finally on the board, cutting the lead to 6 as they go with a 9-yard carry to Tristan Clark. The 2-point conversion failed, and it's 12-6 here at intermission. This is the Sunrise Park Resort halftime show, brought to you by Sunrise Park Resort. Great stuff happening out at Sunrise this Labor Day weekend. You can check it out at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com. Don't forget kayaking, fishing, archery, airbag jumping. Their tube slide is running, and hiking, all at the Sunrise Ski Park. Go to sunriseskipark.com for details. That's Sunrise Ski Park. We'll be back with more of our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show when we return. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
You know, I talk a lot about Ford trucks, and why wouldn't I? I mean, best-selling truck for 36 years running, because Ford's always thinking ahead to next year and not resting on last year. But now I'm going to talk about something different. Where you want to buy your new Ford truck. You just gotta drive by Sholo Ford to see how many trucks they have. Or go online to sholoford.com. And you know Guy Hatch is going to get you a great deal. Because he promises you he is not going to be undersold by anyone, anywhere. And if you know Guy, you know if he says it, he means it. And not only that, but all his F-150s come with lifetime engine warranties. Why would you think about buying anywhere else? Sholo Ford. We want to exceed your expectations. We're Sholo Ford, your friendly family Ford dealer on the east end of the Deuce.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
And there's the kick. It's a low line drive kick. He's up across the 20. He's got the 25 hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
He'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
And that is a touchdown for Sholo.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
And you're hot.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School and the Sunrise Park Resort halftime show at intermission at Snowflake up 12-6. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Royce Kincannon in this scoring update. Royce?
Thank you, Camden. We've got scores from 4A Division 4 football. The Prescott 29, Blue Ridge 7, Combs 14, Globe 0. And there at Snowflake, it's 12-6.
Different ones, and they get a real life experience. If you notice down there, we have students manning the camera. They also sync it to the radio.
And 1 TD. Leading the way receiving is Travis Flake, 2 receptions for 36 yards. Porter Black has 1 reception for 18 yards and a TD. Leading the way rushing for the Snowflake is Trevor McCray, 7 carries for 42 yards. And interesting enough, Porter Black has 1 carry, also for a TD. Rounding out the totals are 101 yards passing for Claridge, and rushing 70 yards for the team, leading to a total of 171 yards. For Mingus, it's been a little bit more stingy. Jordan Upman's only 2 for 4 for 49 yards. Leading the way is Tiffany with 1 reception for 34 yards. Upman's also leading the way for the Mingus Marauders with 7 carries for 48 yards. Total for the half is 142 yards for Mingus.
Okay, Mike, thanks. You know, in looking at those stat totals, early on it looked like Snowflake was going to probably kind of dominate a little bit, you know, but we saw later on that Mingus defense just toughen up a little bit. We had the 2 early scores from Snowflake, but then Mingus doing a pretty good job of holding Snowflake back and allowing Mingus themselves to get that score and really making it a pretty close football game here in the second half. It'll be interesting to see what both teams do here.
And we'll be back here. It's our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show, brought to you by Sunrise Park Resort, as the Labor Day festivities are up and running at Sunrise. Don't forget, great stuff happening up there. Check it out at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com. Snowflake up 12-6. This is the Sunrise Park Resort halftime show and Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
You know, I talk a lot about Ford trucks, and why wouldn't I? I mean, best-selling truck for 36 years running, because Ford's always thinking ahead to next year and not resting on last year. But now I'm going to talk about something different. Where you want to buy your new Ford truck. You just gotta drive by Sholo Ford to see how many trucks they have. Or go online to sholoford.com. And you know Guy Hatch is going to get you a great deal. Because he promises you he is not going to be undersold by anyone, anywhere. And if you know Guy, you know if he says it, he means it. And not only that, but all his F-150s come with lifetime engine warranties. Why would you think about buying anywhere else? Sholo Ford. We want to exceed your expectations. We're Sholo Ford, your friendly family Ford dealer on the east end of the Deuce.
Yep. Ron, tell him we should be in a...
And you're hot.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School. The Lobos up 12-6 as we get set for the second half kickoff and second half adjustments. Punt?
Well, I think for Snowflake, you know, we could see them, they've been doing a good job of running the ball and actually doing a very good job of passing, but not going to the pass so much to where, you know, they're staying very efficient, very balanced. So I think, you know, Snowflake will continue to just work this line of scrimmage against the Marauders where they've had some success. We saw the Marauders in turn kind of stiffen up a little bit in that second quarter defensively, and we'll see if they've made any additional adjustments here in this coming into the second half.
Snyder picks up the football at the 5 after he dropped it, and then we get a push in the back called against Snowflake on the return. And it'll be a penalty that'll be assessed from the Snowflake 13-yard line, where Snyder had a decent return after he bobbled it. And unfortunately for Snowflake, this is going to go half the distance to the goal line.
And it's going to be a long field on their opening possession here in the second half for the Snowflake Lobos at their 11. And, you know, in that first half, Camden, in their first possession, the Lobos did an outstanding job of driving down to get the first score right out of the box. So we'll see if they can repeat that here in the second half with their first possession.
Lobos from there, 10-yard line. Try to run right side. McCrae's got some room across the 10 out to the 11-yard line, and a head tackle there. Tiffany in on the stop, but we got a face mask called against Mingus. And so that'll help Snowflake out immensely.
Absolutely, and a great run by the Snowflake running back that time, putting a good move on the cornerback for Mingus, Juan Ruiz, sliding by him out on that outside edge and allowing McCrae to get those extra yards.
So a big insult to injury as Snowflake will be helped immensely by that 15-yarder.
That first down.
So the 15-yard variety called against Mingus, and a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending first down for Snowflake. Porter Black on the counter to the left side, slips up the middle to the 33-yard line and has good yardage on first down. Porter Black, one of the Ace Hardware key players of the game tonight for Snowflake, had a decent season last year with the Snowflake Lobos. 22 rushes for 119 yards, an average of 4.5 per carry and 16 per game. And Porter Black picking up 6 here to bring up 2nd and 4. At the 32-yard line, Claridge hands to Black, sweeping to the left, has a student body in front of him, but he tries to split the defenders, and he's unable to find room. Trevor Galloway knocks him down. No gain on the play, actually a loss of 1 maybe, back to the 32.
Well, a great job by Trevor Galloway, the defensive end for Mingus, just sliding down the line of scrimmage, following Black and his blockers, and able to cut in through a seam there and get the tackle, does Galloway.
.10:18 left to play here in the third. Opening paragraph of the third. Pass to Flake, incomplete, in and out of his hand, and he had nothing but pay dirt if he was able to hang on to it.
Well, that was an outstanding play by Herb Tiffany. We've called his name a lot for the Mingus Marauders. Number 9, the senior safety, sliding in at the very last second there, getting that paw out in front of the ball before it gets into Flake's hands, or rips it out of his hands, but nevertheless just outstanding defensive play and adjustment by Herb Tiffany, the senior.
4th down, and Black will step back to the Snowflake 22 to punt. Tiffany back for the Marauders, stands at the 35, and a penalty marker thrown as Snowflake.
They're going to call this against Snowflake.
A procedure call.
The offense.
Yeah, you can see the umpire,
4th and 9,
who's right in the defensive backfield, right where the linebackers are, right after throwing that flag, walks up to the center for Snowflake. So apparently the center moving or doing something with the ball to create that penalty.
4th down and 9. Black now stands at his 16. It's a awkward snap, but gets a spiral that's angled away from Tiffany and goes out of bounds at the Snowflake 45. No return for Mingus, as Porter Black doing a pretty good job that time
kick of about 40 yards
and keeping it a punted downfield and keeping it away from the return man.
Will take over with 1st and 10 from their own 35.
.950 left to play here in the third. It's Snowflake up 12-6. Mingus on the possession. They'll start this drive from their 35 after turning Snowflake away. Snowflake had 2 quick touchdowns on their first 2 possessions and have not been able to get anything going since then. Quick swing pass to Tiffany. Tiffany has a couple of yards on the play. They'll give him forward progress out to the 40, or call it the 38-yard line. Lane Penrod on the stop for Snowflake.
Penrod, that outside linebacker for Snowflake, actually the inside linebacker, quickly reading that pass, sliding out quickly to the flat. Does his best to bring down Tiffany, who's much bigger than Lane, but ultimately does bring him down after that gain.
2nd down and 6. And loose ball picked up in the backfield by Black. He could go to the 35, to the 20, and he's going to be caught from behind by Upham at the 15-yard line. Snowflake taking advantage of the turnover.
Big turnover at that. Great job by Black. You could see that there was a bad exchange just by watching Jordan Upham, the quarterback for Mingus. Couldn't really tell where the ball went, but clearly Porter Black there to pick it up. And the one person that probably could have run down Black, who is a very fast runner himself, Jordan Upham, able to make the tackle to prevent the defense, or to prevent the touchdown. Nevertheless, Snowflake in great field position here in the red zone.
Of the Mingus Marauders.
What yard line?
Claridge to throw on 1st down, has a man at the 14. It's Solomon, spins, and the ball loose at the 10-yard line, and Mingus has it back. Stripped away from Solomon, and the Snowflake players upset. They say that he was down. They better be careful, though. Well, a Snowflake player, John, with one of the officials.
Well, you know, Solomon's beating his head because he knows it's a turnover. Well, he knows that they called the turnover. To me, it looked like he was fighting for those extra yards after the catch, as we've seen him do all night tonight. He's just really been battling, has Solomon, but in that case, it looks like in fighting for those extra yards, the defender came up and was able to strip the ball loose. Ultimately, they will call it a fumble. Mingus will take the ball over after just one play by Snowflake.
Let's hear it, crowd.
So Mingus from the shadow of their goalposts. 1st down and 10 for them. Working from their 7. They pitch it to Clark. Clark sweeps right, turns it upfield at the 5 to the 10. And a good block out there on the outside edge to spring Clark out across the 10 to the 14.
And you know, Camden, we saw with Mingus in the latter half of that second quarter, starting to go with those quick pitches outside because they've been able to gain yards. And it looks like they're going to start again here early in the second half doing the same.
8:11 to play on the third quarter game clock. They give it to Clark. He sweeps right again. This time Snowflake's there after a short gain to the 15. Drew Snyder on the tackle along with Travis Flake for Snowflake.
And a late flag by the referee. It looks like they're going to have unsportsmanlike against Snowflake. So apparently didn't look like there was any hitting or anything. Maybe just some talking back and forth between the teams. So that's the second personal foul against Snowflake.
That'll tack on 15. That'll be a 1st down for the Marauders.
After the penalty, Marauders have a 1st down, a Lacey Weeks Supreme Lending 1st down to the Snowflake 31. And Hapham looking to throw right side and into coverage, and Tiffany, the intended receiver, can't come up with it. It would have been out of bounds if he'd have caught it, I believe. Right there on the coverage was Drew Snyder. He was step for step in his hip pocket.
He was step for step, was Snyder. It looked like the receiver did pull down the pass, but obviously out of bounds in doing so. So it'll be 2nd down for Mingus, 2nd and 10.
7:46 left to play third quarter. Snowflake up 12-6. And Mingus sets a man in motion. That's Clark, the hand to him. He tries to turn it upfield after being hit at the line of scrimmage. Has some positive yardage out of the play. Some yards after contact out to the 34. Travis Flake and Lane Penrod combined on the tackle for Snowflake. A gain of about 2 on the play, and it brings up 3rd down and 6.
Well, there was a bunch of Snowflake Lobos in on that play, so a good defensive surge there after a short gain by Mingus.
3rd and 7.
Receivers left and right. Hapham to throw on 3rd down. He's in trouble. Going to be sacked in the backfield. Dropped for a loss by Travis Flake on the left edge. On the right edge, rather. A correction on the tackle.
It looks like Cade Solomon, the senior, 6'2", 220-pound senior, coming up from his defensive line position, but Flake was there as well. So great line surge by the defense for Snowflake.
Gets to Jordan Upham, and on 4th down, they'll be forced to punt it away. Porter Black set to receive back at the Snowflake 25. Gets a big bounce and takes a Marauder bounce. Picked up by Black at the 24, and he's thrown backwards to the 20-yard line by Tiffany. Tiffany showing some strength out there.
Absolutely. You know, as we mentioned earlier, we've been mentioning his name quite a bit in today's game, both on offense and defense. So clearly one of the top athletes for this Mingus team, just doing an outstanding job for the Marauders tonight.
6.5 left to play here.
Brooklyn Stewart.
In the 3rd, Snowflake up 12-6, but struggling to get their offense going after their initial first 2 drives of the game punt.
Definitely, we'll see what they can do here. You know, they're pressed back, not terrible starting field position, but they've got another long field ahead of them, do the Lobos.
Good job, cheerleaders.
Snyder wide to the near side of the field. They go straight ahead. Claridge stacked up at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards. Has forward progress for a gain of 1 to the 21-yard line.
2nd and 9.
Well, it looked like a kind of a counter option there with Claridge, as you say, electing to keep the ball. There was a big gap at the line of scrimmage for him to be able to run through, but quickly being met by that linebacker core from Mingus. Levi Collins just past the line of scrimmage and holding that to a very short gain.
Man in motion. Hand off, it's McCray. McCray to the 20, 25, and he's knocked down at the 23. Ball squirted loose at the last moment, but it was down. Levi Collins.
And it looked for a minute there, Camden, as McCray broke the line of scrimmage like he had a lot of room to run. Actually ends up with a pretty good gain. But had it not been for Levi Collins, the senior linebacker for Mingus, I think he would have gone for, you know, a big chunky yardage beyond that.
3rd down conversion coming up, a big one here for Snowflake. 3rd down and 2.
2 here, folks.
From their 28-yard line, man in motion, fake to him, handed off straight ahead to Black, or actually it's Penrod on the carry.
Lane Penrod on the...
and he picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling 1st down.
That's enough for the 1st down.
Levi Collins in on the stop.
Lobos for this.
That's one of those gut check times for Snowflake punt. They've had some struggles offensively, and that's a big 1st down.
That is a huge 1st down for them.
Two receivers split to the left. Man in motion back across the formation. And the keeper this time, Claridge up the middle across the 35, knocked down near the 38. Jordan Vincent on the stop for the Marauders. 4.5 left to play, 3rd quarter.
And again, Snowflake using that same play again the previous time, of course, handing off to Lane Penrod on that counter action. This time the quarterback elects to keep, driving forward for a decent game of about 4 or 5 yards.
2nd and 6 from the 37. Snap to Claridge from the gun, throws left side, caught by McCray at the 1st down yard marker, and they say he's got it. A Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending, 1st down for Snowflake.
Great execution by Snowflake. They send Porter Black deep on a deep route taking that corner with him, allowing McCray to cut underneath, and a great timing route and spot-on pass by Claridge to get it to McCray, enough for that first down. So again, Snowflake chipping away and just continuing to keep this drive alive.
Clock under 4 minutes to play now here in the third quarter. And Claridge from the gun. Counter left. Snyder has room at the 50. He could go. 40. One man to beat. It's Story. He'll drag him down from behind at the 30-yard line, but not before he picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down.
Well, again, Snowflake moving that offensive motion to the right and then countering back to Snyder, who picks up big yardage, as you said, Camden. Had it not been for Garrett Story, number 24 for Mingus, the senior linebacker coming across the field from the opposite side. Had it not been for Story dragging down Snyder, he would have been in the end zone.
3 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the third. A 12-6 lead for Snowflake, and they are rolling here. Hand to Black, has room at the 30, and he's going to be hit at the 30 and thrown backwards. Big play by Mingus.
Well, looks like a turnover, judging from the Mingus bench. They're jumping up and down, and that's what they're going to call. You can see the Snowflake defense now coming out. You know, that's that same play. Last time they went to Schneider, this time they go to Black, but one of those safeties coming up quickly from Mingus, Machada coming up quickly and obviously stripping the ball. So, we saw good, steady offensive march by Snowflake, looking like they had some momentum here to put some points up, but second fumble in a row.
Marauders will now have the ball.
Poorly timed turnover for the Lobos, and we'll see what Mingus can do here in response.
Looks like we may have an injured player on the Snowflake sideline. Let's check in. We'll check in with Brandon here in just a moment.
Number 10 on the
As the Marauders will take over after the fumble recovery.
Back to pass.
Upham to throw, has a man wide open, and he underthrows him at the Snowflake 35. Nathan Petty got behind the defense, but Upham can't come up with the connection. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, thanks, Camden. It's Porter Black who's on his back over here on the Snowflake sideline. They got the trainers rubbing him down what looks like just to be cramps with the way that they're stretching out his calves. You saw him hobbling off the field, but they're working on his right calf right now. They're rubbing it, and the doc is stretching out his calf. So just cramps right now, which is good news for the injured player, but bad news for the Snowflake Lobos as they need him on the field.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Upham looking like he's trying to set up a screen, but in the backfield nicely that time to pressure it was Touchstone. And he just was stride for stride right there with Upham as he tried to drop back for that screenplay.
Well, absolutely. Garrison Touchstone, the 6'4 senior, just blasting through. It looked like Mingus was trying to set up a screen to the outside, but credit Touchstone for that quick rush and just upsetting that attempted screen pass by Mingus.
2:48 left to play third. Story hits to him, and Snowflake hangs on defensively. McCray in on that stop. Keegan Bjorn also in on the stop.
Keegan Bjorn, the junior outside linebacker, doing a great job of staying home that time, pitching in the rush and shutting and causing a big loss for Mingus here. Fourth down, they're going to punt here, it looks like.
Set a man in motion back across the formation. The punt's away. McCray back to return it. Lets it bounce. Now picks it up at the 18. Slips a tackle at the 20. No, he's going to be shoestring tackled at the 20-yard line. He falls forward to the 22.
Almost has
Snowflake with another possession.
Lobos will take over there.
And it's been a defensive battle between these two teams.
Absolutely. This Snowflake defense doing a great job of keeping Mingus off the scoreboard so far. But, you got to believe that Coach Tenny is looking for his offense to continue a drive, just be able to not get any turnovers, as we've seen in their last two possessions. And just if they cannot turn the ball over, they've shown the ability to march down the field, and they certainly in a position here where they need the points.
Tell you what, it's been a lot of fun to watch. This season opener has been full of fireworks from both of these teams. McCray, sweeping right, has room, 30, 40, 50, he's going to beat everybody to the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown McCray, 77 yards on the carry. How about that speed?
Just exceptional speed on the outside. Once you see him turn upfield, he had plenty of green in front. You know, you could see the secondary from Mingus try to drift over, but not in time, allowing McCray to get down. But you got to say, Zach Solomon, also number 28 for Snowflake, the 5'10" sophomore, doing a good job of sealing off that defensive cornerback or linebacker on the outside, allowing McCray to be able to cut upfield for that long touchdown run.
Well, McCray showcasing some speed around the right edge that time. Minute 51 left to play in the third, and the Lobos going to go for two, unsuccessful again on the two-point conversion. They're going to start thinking about maybe hiring a kid from the soccer team to kick point after tries, I think.
Well, Jordan Prouty, the 6'1" junior for Mingus, coming in from that outside linebacker position and just shutting that play down before it even had a chance.
1:51 remaining third quarter. Snowflake up 18-6. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, K-Supply saves you money on siding too. K-Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see K-Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
And there's the
And the Marauders on the return out to the 26-yard line as we struggle again here with a power outage. I don't know what's happening upstairs, but we have like just an awkward connection or something. Snowflake up 18-6. A minute 44 left to play here in the third quarter. And it's a interesting night, technically.
I'm getting lost. I think we have too many things plugged into one power strip. That might be part of the problem.
It's possible. First down and 10 for Mingus. And a throwback here. Pitch and throw. Wow. Trevor Meyer intended for Clark deep downfield at the 30, but in double coverage. Snowflake wasn't fooled at all.
They were not fooled, but I got to tell you, that Meyer kid's got a heck of an arm. That was a great spiral. But credit the coverage by Snowflake. They were looking deep. There was a quick pitch, making them think they were going to go outside again on the rush. But the Snowflake safeties stuck with that receiver the entire length of the field. So good defensive work by the Lobos on that down.
Minute 36 left to play here in the third, and we got a scoring update hopefully coming up for you with Royce Kincannon back in the studio. Check on that in a moment. Tiffany pitches, or they pitch to Tiffany rather, to the right side, and he's got room on the outside out across the 45-yard line. Porter Black finally brings him down at the Mingus 49.
And again, Mingus having success. We saw it starting late in that second quarter, and again continuing here in the third quarter with those quick pitches outside. And Tiffany, again, one of those athletes for Mingus. We've been calling his name all night long, able to beat the defense outside and get that big gain.
Hey, Lacey Weeks at Supreme Mortgage, first down. Upham looking to throw, play action down the center of the field, and nobody home, and a penalty marker thrown late. And
well, you can see
Black had his back turned to the defender.
Yeah, you can see the receiver, Mingus receiver is at 24. Yep. Garrett Story tried to cut in underneath the defender, Porter Black, and Black goes to the turf. And we can see the line judge and the referee, they want to talk about it, trying to decide who to throw the flag on. It looks like it might be an offensive interference. At least that's what the Snowflake defenders are saying.
Well, Black had his back to the receiver. The receiver tried to run him over. Felt like his path to the football was impeded. Let's check in with Brandon Todd, who had a look at it. They're going to call us against Mingus. Brandon?
Yeah, I don't know what the conference is about. It looked like a pretty blatant offensive pass interference, and the sideline referee went up and talked to the head official. Obviously, we saw the conference, and they went ahead and agreed that it was it looked like he did the personal foul, not necessarily the pass interference motion. So it must have been a personal foul call. I got the referee running right by me. Maybe I can get in his ear real quick.
All right, thanks, Brandon, and see if we can get an update for you.
In the back offense.
Push in the back is the official call against Mingus. That's their 8th penalty of the night. 80 yards for the Marauders.
It'll bring up 1st and 25 after the personal foul.
Lobos up by a couple of touchdowns here, 18-6. Don't forget you can watch live streaming of tonight's contest at iTalk1067.com. First down and 25 to go for the Marauders. And Upham is going to be upended at the 30-yard line. Alex Solomon, one of those to pick him up and slam him down, and a fumble on the play.
And not only did we break it up in the backfield,
well, I missed the fumble.
Yeah, I missed the fumble too. They pick. You could see the quarterback literally get picked up by the entire front line for the Lobos. They just converge on the quarterback Upham and pick him up and throw him down and apparently somewhere in there the ball popped out because it's now Snowflake's ball.
Wow, that was a big defensive play. Is Snowflake making a statement here tonight?
You can say as much, yep. We'll see what they can do here. They scored in their last possession.
To throw, and it's caught by Flake down the center of the field at the 16-yard line. Great pitch and catch from Claridge to Flake, and a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down.
And again, the defender, Herb Tiffany, on Flake, literally on Flake, but Flake with that longer frame able to get up high again and pull that pass down for a big gain, putting Snowflake in great position here to score possibly before the end of the quarter with 30 seconds left.
Claridge from the gun stands at his 20. Fresh set of downs. Give to McCray. McCray keeps those feet churning, carrying tacklers with him inside the 10. Still on his feet at the 6-yard line. How about that?
Outstanding work again by McCray. Comes up limping, looking like maybe he might be cramping up a little bit as well. Is McCray. He's going to get substituted here. Come to the sideline. They're going to work on. I'm pretty sure it's a cramp. You can tell he's not in a lot of pain.
And there goes the horn sound in the end of the third quarter. Snowflake will face a 2nd and 1 when we return from the Mingus 7-yard line. As we go to the 4th and the final next, this is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and worldwide at iTalk1067.com.
You know, I talk a lot about Ford trucks, and why wouldn't I? I mean, best-selling truck for 36 years running, because Ford's always thinking ahead to next year and not resting on last year. But now I'm going to talk about something different, where you want to buy your new Ford truck. You just gotta drive by Sholo Ford to see how many trucks they have. Or go online to sholoford.com. And you know Guy Hatch is going to get you a great deal. Because he promises you he is not.
And you're hot.
Final 12 minutes of the game, and the Snowflake Lobos up 18-6. As we've got a scoring update for you coming up here in just a moment. And let's go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Camden. We see McCray over here on the bench getting his ankle wrapped. And he was complaining. I heard rumors of a twisted ankle, but they're wrapping it up. And, it doesn't look like too much sense of urgency, so it might not be that bad of an injury. We'll probably see him out later on in the game.
All right, thanks, Brandon, as they hand to Snyder this time. And Machado tackles him inside the 5, but he gets a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending first down at the 2.5-yard mark. This will be just like a 2-point conversion, which is probably not a good thing to say given their record on 2-point conversions tonight for Snowflake.
Well, Snowflake bringing in Lane Penrod in that backfield, and we saw from them earlier they like using him sometimes in these goal line situations. He's a pretty tough runner.
Tight set across the offensive front. They're going to hand it off, and they go off tackle right side. Alex Patterson scores it for Snowflake.
Well, just a great line surge by that Snowflake front, pushing Mingus defenders literally into the end zone just on the line surge alone. It looks like we have an injured Mingus player, number 5, coming up with a limp, Isaac Romero. He's wanting to stay on the field, but I'm not sure if they're going to let him. They're going to have him step off here. But again, great line surge by Snowflake that time, including a couple of blocks from backs in the backfield, including Lane Penrod, to open up that big gaping hole on that right side.
Well, Snowflake is putting the throttle down here in the second half. They scored 2 unanswered in the first quarter, then gave up a touchdown in the third, or rather in the second. Went to halftime up 12-6, but their offense began to sputter about that time, and it struggled through most of the third quarter until they put together a drive late in the third quarter to make it 18-6.
And they're going to call another penalty again against Snowflake. I think it's the center for Snowflake that's moving the ball or something when he steps up to the line. Or I'm sorry. It's a delay of game penalty against Snowflake.
So Snowflake will reattempt the 2-point conversion 5 yards deeper this time from the 7.5-yard line. There's the snap. And looking to throw. Claridge has Flake across the middle, but it's just through his fingertips. Maybe a little too much on that pass, as Claridge had the right idea, but Flake couldn't hang on to it. So another failed 2-point conversion for Snowflake with 11:27 left in the fourth. They're up 24-6. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
And you're hot.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School. LaGrange set to kick for Snowflake. They put in a new kicker. He gets off a decent kick. That'll be fielded at the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and held up there at the 27-yard line and dropped down.
27-yard line.
Where Mingus will have another possession. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Royce Kincannon and this scoring update. Royce.
First and 10.
All right, thank you, Camden. We've got scores from around Division IV football. We've got Snowflake, of course, 24-6 over Mingus. Prescott, 35, Blue Ridge 7. Combs, 14, Globe 0. Seton Catholic, 21, Estrella Foothills 3. St. John's, 10, American Leadership Academy, 7. Safford all over Babacavari, 66. Okay, you're back. Apparently we won't go to Royce.
Good job defense. Looks like maybe Garrison would have got that. Garrison is one of the tallest guys. He's shaking his head. It was him. Finish off by 65. Keeping the arm. Finished off by White and Kenley. Pick of 8.
Tiffany had a little bit of space to break into the secondary, so a nice reach tackle that time by Bjorn.
Upham under center. 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. Hand it straight ahead. Snowflake going to stack him up at the line of scrimmage. Does he have forward progress? It'll be very close. Solomon in on the stop for Snowflake, but they've proven to be one of the tougher defenses in the region this year. Tonight showing some big defensive plays, some big hits, and a lot of strength on defense.
Well, as you said, Solomon coming up strong from his inside linebacker position that time and shutting down that rush, but based on the spot, the forward progress spot, it looks like it'd be a little close here. Hard to tell where this will fall, whether it's a first down or not.
They're going to bring the chains on. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon. We'll check in with Brandon. And we welcome you back from our brief power outage. Something's happening with our board tonight, causing some interference or something. We've had issues staying connected to power, but while we were so rudely interrupted there, we got a chance to see Snowflake successful on holding on 4th down. They held Mingus about a foot short of the first down and will take over at the Mingus 37. Sweep left side. Snyder tries to get around the edge. Levi Collins holds on at the 36.
And again, that counter from Snowflake that had been working pretty steadily earlier in the game. Credit Levi Collins, the senior linebacker that time, staying home and just locking up Snyder before he could break the line of scrimmage.
Under 10 to play now in the contest. Snowflake up 24-6 with the football. 2nd and 9 from the Marauder 36-yard line. Claridge in the gun. Tight set up front, hand it off. McCray looking for a hole, leaps over a player at the 32, and he's knocked down at the 25. Good for a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Mortgage first down.
And Herb Tiffany coming up from his safety position to make that tackle, but not after a great gain by McCray, being very patient in the backfield, running out to the left side there, just kind of waiting for a gap to develop. And once he sees it, he explodes through, jumps over the defender, as you say, Camden. And a great gain. 13 carries for 156 yards tonight for McCray.
Wide receiver to the far side of the set for Snowflake is Snyder. Set a man in motion. That's McCray. Claridge misses the snap. It went over his head. He goes back to pick it up and falls on it after he carries it back to the 34-yard line.
Well, it was a good snap. It was a good snap. Just had a little bit of spice on it, and it slides right through Claridge's hands. Looked like he might have been looking away a little early. Took his eyes off the ball that time, and pretty big loss there for Snowflake.
Wide receiver to the far side of the set. Man in motion is McCray. Fake to him. Fake on the counter. Little bubble screen. Caught by Penrod. 30, 25, 20, 15. Ball loose at the 10 and out of bounds. Snowflake should have it inside the 5. A Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for Snowflake, and they got it on the fumble.
Well, they did rip it loose from Lane Penrod, who just explodes right up with his lead blockers going down that sideline. Looked like he'd have a crack at the end zone, but a Mingus defender, couldn't tell who it was, came in and just literally ripped the ball right out of Penrod's hands. And fortunately for the Lobos, it bounces out of bounds right at the 4. So they'll retain possession here, an excellent position to put another few points on the board.
That's going to be enough for a first down.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pine Top, a Kopaniki communication station. Claridge hands it up. Sweeping left side this time, and about a yard on the carry. The give was to Patterson, his second carry of the night. Patterson out to the 1 yard, I'll call it the 2 yard line. Call it the 2.5 yard line. Clock rolling under 8 minutes to play now in the contest. Snowflake up 24-6 and threatening with a 2nd and goal from the 2. And a full house backfield. With Claridge in the gun, hands to McCray. McCray up the middle, untouched. Scores up the middle from 2.5 yards out.
And again, just a great big hole right up the middle of the line by that Snowflake. Snowflake line just doing an outstanding job of just firing off the ball and just driving defenders downfield. McCray doing a great job of looking and finding that opening. Dances out a little to the right initially, but then cuts straight up right behind the center into that wide open gap for the touchdown.
Well, Trevor McCray was one of our Ace Hardware key players of the game at the start of tonight's broadcast. Last season, 95 carries, 660 yards, an average of 55 yards per game last season, and he's had a bunch tonight. We remind you to stick around to our post-game comments, brought to you by the Indian Pine Restaurant and the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, where we'll announce our Indian Pine Restaurant player of the game, and Trevor McCray certainly one of those to be considered here tonight. Another delay of game called here. It's almost like Snowflake's doing it on purpose as many times as they've had it called against them. 3rd time that they've been moved back 5 yards on the PAT. Brenton Ballard on the point after try from about 25 yards away, and it's short. And so Snowflake, another failed point after conversion, up 30-6 with 7.5 left to play in the 4th. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
First Profane, White Mountain Physical Therapy. We thank those sponsors.
Yeah. Cool party. What do you guys want to drink? Can I have a head-on collision with a concussion twist?
Make mine a fatal accident with no survivors.
And you?
A designated driver, please. You know, just a bottle of water.
Awesome.
You're a lifesaver.
And
Back to Snowflake High School, 30-6 is our score with 7.5 remaining here in the fourth. Snowflake leading the Mingus Marauders. And a high end-over-ender, return man from the 10, 15, that story at the 20 to the 25, knocked down at the 28-yard line.
29, return of 19 yards on that kick.
Well, a good return there by Mingus, getting them in good field position, and they really truly are in a position here, Camden, where they need to put points on the board quickly. Given the offensive surge that we've seen by the Lobos here in the third quarter and in the first part of the fourth quarter, huge hill to climb now for Mingus.
Zach Solomon and Trent Hatch in on the tackle for Snowflake. As Mingus with good field position at the Marauder 29, pitch to Clark. Clark tries to get around the edge, and Snowflake is flying around the field now. I don't think there's anything better for a defense than to have their offense put points up, take pressure off. Not only that, but tonight's been a big confidence builder for this defense, and you got to be impressed with the defense.
Absolutely, and you can tell, who has the momentum right now in this game. Snowflake playing with a lot of momentum and just really aggressive on defense. Drew Snyder that time, along with some teammates, getting out quickly and shut down that outside edge.
2 receivers left, 2 men in motion, penalty marker thrown. Upham going to fire left at the 20, 25. Tiffany across the 30, knocked down near the 34-yard line, but this one's coming back. Lane Penrod in on the stop for Snowflake.
As you say, we had two Mingus players in motion at the same time. They're asking the defense what they want to do here on the penalty. Yeah, it should be a dead ball, but they're talking to Snowflake right now. Maybe they're just asking him what they have planned for after the game. So where do we go eat after the game is what they were talking about, Camden.
Is that what they were talking about?
Is
I don't know.
Sonic or is it?
I think Sonic's about the only thing open in town, isn't it?
McDonald's or is it Circle K?
If you're a restaurant, wouldn't you be open at the end of the game?
Absolutely.
And then give out coupons during the game, or sponsor a broadcast or something to tell people that you're open? Tiffany in motion, back behind the formation. Quick throw here near side, caught by Lopez, up into there after a short gain. Another big defensive play by Snowflake.
These Snowflake numbers are really hard to read, but that looked like Luke Cron, the junior, 5'8" junior, just doing a great job of coming up quickly to make the tackle for Snowflake, playing the role of a shutdown corner on that play.
I like that. Big play defensively for Snowflake, and they've been full of big plays tonight, especially on the defense. The defense has looked especially well tonight. Ball loose, Upham. No, and a big hit. Near side as Tiffany carries, and a collision. Luke Cron comes up and makes the stop.
As you say, a good tackle by, I think it's number 82 again, Luke Cron, but boy, he's lowered the boom on him. He was able to hold on for the tackle.
Cron, a bit of a snot knocker that time. And he's still in there after he gets run over. And a block punt. Upham falls on it at the 13-yard line. Ryan McKinley in on the block punt.
And again, all the momentum now clearly with Snowflake. Everything's going right for them defensively and offensively. That kick never really had a chance because of McKinley getting in so deep into the backfield. But Snowflake picks the ball up here in exceptional field position at the Mingus 13-yard line.
Well, it just went from bad to worse if you're a Mingus fan, but if you're a Snowflake fan, you are loving life right now with a 30-6 advantage and an opportunity to put more points up with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. go. Left side power, and Patterson carries across the 10 to the 9. Tiffany on the stop for Mingus.
And again, Tiffany just doing an exceptional job for her Mingus. He's been all over the field defensively for sure, but also one of their go-to guys on offense. He's going to be a tired puppy at the end of this game.
Good chance to hear the band, the percussion section now, entertaining the fans. As Snowflake now with a 2nd down and 6. Handed off. Patterson crosses the 10. Tries to get to the 5. To the 5. Pfeiffer in on the stop at the 6-yard line. Patterson, a gain of about 3.
That's an amazing feat they do.
Snowflake bringing in a bunch of substitutions. Looks like mostly linemen here. Hard to pick up the numbers, but apparently Coach Tenny taking the opportunity here to get some playing time in for some of his guys. And they're keeping it pretty simple so far with the offensive playbook, just pretty much running up the gut and seeing what they can get in between the tackles.
Low snap, Claridge picks it up, and ball loose.
I don't know.
Oh, it was a direct snap.
But
let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, I just correction there for you. It wasn't Claridge who took the snap. It was a direct snap to X. I don't know the guy's name. Apologize about that. So, yeah, I don't know the number either, Mike. I'm sorry. So, you know what? Well, I don't know why you come down to me. I don't know what I'm talking about down here, Camden.
Well, that was insightful. Thanks, Brandon. And
our crack sideline team is right on it again tonight.
It's always fun when you try to correct somebody and you don't have the information. Counter left, touchdown, Brimhall. 4 yards out for the score.
And we've seen that play I don't know how many times tonight from Snowflake. They have several options off those crossing backs. And we've even seen the quarterback occasionally keep it. But Snowflake, again, that would not be happening were it not for just the exceptional blocking up front by that big line of theirs. So you got to give a little tap of the hat to the big guys up front doing an outstanding job tonight for the Lobos.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch this one, especially if you're a Snowflake fan tonight. And Snowflake always puts on a lot of entertainment. They have a tremendous band, tremendous madrigal choir. Point after try is finally through, and
you can hear the crowd.
5th time's the charm for Snowflake as they put up a good PAT. And with 4:02 left to play 4th quarter, it's Snowflake up 37-6. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School. After the touchdown, Snowflake leads 37-6 with under 4 minutes to play. The ensuing kickoff return by Mingus out to the 27.
And a big tackle on the kickoff team. Tanner Willis dropping the hammer on Tiffany there. The sophomore Tanner Willis doing an outstanding job. Gets rewarded with a pat on the back by his coach and tells him to stay in and play a little defense for the Lobos here.
Snowflake has been quite impressive this evening. It's been a great open to their 2014 campaign. I think the numbers will bear that as well. They give it to Clark, and Clark spins at the 40 to get away from one tackler, but two more collide to bring him down. Daniel Langsmith in on the stop for Snowflake.
And also Porter Black.
Porter Black also in.
All got in there on the tackle there.
Well, you know, Camden, it wasn't too long ago where we had a 12-6 game going, a 12-6 game. It seems like it wasn't that long ago.
It was a two-touchdown game through 3 quarters.
Yeah, clearly Snowflake just being able to take advantage of turnovers by Mingus and just mount offensive charge on pretty much all of their possessions during that late third quarter and early into the fourth quarter. And you got to believe that big touchdown run by McRae is kind of what set the tone and maybe just shifted the momentum in a big way.
Roth carries on that play there. They pick up the Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending first down. And to your point, Punt, Snowflake, I think it really came down to execution in the second half. They just out-executed Mingus.
Absolutely, out-executed them, and in the process, you could just sense the momentum shift clearly going in Snowflake's favor.
On first down, a gain of a couple toward close to the 40-yard line. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Camden. I'm over here on the Snowflake sideline, and I was just having a conversation with Lynn Johnson, the physical therapist, also the team doctor over here, and he was saying, we're talking about this group of kids here, and I commented, I think they're better than last year, and he said he agrees. He said over the summer, every day he had at least 10 to 11 guys every day in with him doing personal weightlifting and core workouts and you know, the things that he does, and then they would go lift with their team. So really dedicated group of kids here on the Snowflake sidelines.
Thanks, Brandon, and that's borne out here tonight. That's paid dividends, at least to the start of this season. Story on the carry, a big gain on second down, setting up a decent opportunity on third. And I got to tell you, I'm happy to predict that Snowflake is going to be your state champion this year. How about that?
That's awesome, Camden. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Third down and 3. Pitch it right side, and Clark hitting the backfield. Or excuse me, it's Story hitting the backfield. Dropped for a loss by Keegan Bjorn.
The outside linebacker Bjorn reads that rush outside, just shoots the gap, goes right to the ball carrier, and brings him down for the loss. Just outstanding play by Keegan Bourne coming up from his outside linebacker position. And again, Camden, you know, the momentum of this game completely shifting with the Snowflake Lobos long ago, as not too long after the second half started. They're just doing an outstanding job here.
Under a minute to play in the game, and they're going to go for it on 4th down and 8. Upham looking to throw, screen left, hit as he makes the reception at the 35. And I'll tell you what,
Keegan Bourne again.
Defense is for real.
Yeah, Bjorn again from that outside linebacker position, read it all the way and just crunched that receiver as soon as the ball touches his hands, making the tackle. And you could see the emotion on the sideline, coaches and players alike giving high fives to Bjorn. Great play by him.
Keegan Bjorn, a 6'1", 175-pound junior, having a terrific game tonight. Called his number quite a few times, but those 2 big plays really stand out. 44 seconds left to play in the clock, and Snowflake will take over on downs at the Marauder 35-yard line, where Snowflake should be able to take a couple of knees. And I don't think Mingus will try to stop it here, trailing 37-6. Nice win here tonight for Snowflake. Reminder to stick around to our post-game comments, where we will announce the Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game, brought to you by the Indian Pine Restaurant and the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. Best place to get your camping, hiking, and hunting and fishing gear is out at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, south of Pine Top, Highway 260, right side of the road before you get to the Honda Casino. Second down and 11, and another knee taken here by Claridge, and the Snowflake Lobos have their first win of the 2014 season by a final score of 37-6. We'll step away, back to recap it for you as we go to our Sunrise Park Resort post-game show right after this. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Next week, your Lobos will travel to Australia Foothills. Hey, play down there. That's on September 5th.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
You know, I talk a lot about Ford trucks, and why wouldn't I? I mean, best-selling truck for 36 years running, because Ford's always thinking ahead to next year and not resting on last year. But now I'm going to talk about something different. Where you want to buy your new Ford truck. You just gotta drive by Sholo Ford to see how many trucks they have. Or go online to sholoford.com. And you know Guy Hatch is going to get you a great deal. Because he promises you he is not going to be undersold by anyone, anywhere. And if you know Guy, you know if he says it, he means it. And not only that, but all his F-150s come with lifetime engine warranties. Why would you think about buying anywhere else? Sholo Ford. We want to exceed your expectations. We're Sholo Ford, your friendly family Ford dealer on the east end of the Deuce.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
And there's the kick. It's a low line drive kick. He's up across the 20. He's got the 25 hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
He'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
And that is a touchdown for Sholo.
Welcome back to Snowflake High School and our Sunrise Park Resort. Post-game comments brought to you by the Sunrise Park Resort. Great things happening out at Sunrise this Labor Day weekend. As we take a look at the activities happening there, check it out. Kayaking, fishing, archery, airbag jump, tube slide, and hiking. You'll find it all at the out at the Sunrise Park Resort. A great chance for you and the family to get up and have some great fun up in the cool pines of Sunrise. And if you haven't taken a scenic lift ride yet, it is absolutely gorgeous up there at Sunrise. And we remind you to go to sunriseskipark.com for details. That's sunriseskipark.com. Let's recap this ball game for you so far tonight. Or rather, I should say, throughout tonight, it was a all-Snowflake game. It was tight in the first half, though. They went to intermission with a 12-6 lead. They came out in the second half, able to add to their lead, up 18-6 at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth, they scored 3 times. Alex Patterson, a 2.5-yard carry. Trevor McKay, a 2.5-yard carry. A block punt with 6 minutes to go. Andrew Brimhall on a 4-yard carry to cap that drive off. And finally, a good PAT by Brenton Ballard. They win the game 37-6. Let's go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. I believe he has head coach Ron Tenny. Brandon?
Yeah, I do, Camden. I'm right here with head coach Ron Tenny, the winning coach. Coach, it's your season opener, your home opener, and it's an impressive win for you. How do you feel right now?
Oh, man, we feel good. Boys are excited. Get the game off rolling. You know, the season rolling good. So, you know, it's always fun to, see the kids have success on their home opener, and great crowd tonight, and we're pleased. We're still not there. We haven't arrived yet, but hey, we're going to take this. We're gonna enjoy it for the night, and then get back to work tomorrow.
Coach, you started the season last year. Was it 7-0 at the beginning of the season? Was it 7-8-0, something like that?
I think 7-0, and then we went into Blue Ridge and lost a squeaker to Blue Ridge, so we were like 5-1 going into like Sholo. And
you started the last season really hot, and everyone was talking about how great Snowflake is. I'm thinking you're better this season. Compare this team to last year's season.
Well, we've got some kids that came and played tonight. Man, we've got some kids that really stepped up big tonight, both defensive. Kids flying to the ball, making plays, and then little Claridge did pretty well for us tonight at quarterback. And so he's got some good targets out there with some of our receivers. So I think with our running game and our passing game, we should be able to mix it up and keep defenses guessing.
Well, your quarterback really impressed me with his arm. He's very accurate. He has a lot of zip on the ball. He's not a very big guy either. Right. But I want to talk about your defense. Your defense was really impressive tonight, Coach. You were flying around the ball, making big plays. And it's easy to do when you have a big lead. Yeah. But at the same time, it's easy to take off a play when you have a big lead.
Yeah.
So what are you telling your kids, saying, hey, even though we have a big lead, what were you telling them when they came off, telling them so that they didn't let up?
Well, this whole off season, it's Coach Hargrove's taken over for Coach Westover, who's retired, and so we looked at a little bit different system, and we've been preaching ever since spring ball, swarming to the ball, and just trying to get kids flying and let them play and use that speed that we have and just get out there and make plays, and I think it's working for us. And once they get used to the system, I think we'll be pretty hard to figure out there.
Well, flying around you guys did. I'll let you know, Camden Smith up in the booth, he said he's going to call it right now, Snowflake Lobos state champions. What do you feel about that?
Well, it's pretty hard to predict that. We got to take it 1 week at a time here with us. There's no doubt that's our goal in the end, just like it would be for any team, and that's why we strap it up, is to bring that gold football home come Thanksgiving time. So that's what we're shooting for. The toughest team in the state right now for us is the Estrella Foothills, now that this one's out. So,
well, as of right now, out of the big three schools, Snowflake, Blue Ridge, and Sholo, you're the only team with a win thus far. Obviously, I believe Blue Ridge lost tonight, and Sholo obviously didn't play tonight. So you're the only mountain school, again, without a loss. And, Coach, heck of a win tonight. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
And go celebrate and enjoy the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Camden, back to you.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Great interview. And we got to say, hats off to the Snowflake Lobos tonight, Punt. It's just a terrific win for them.
Well, we talked earlier about how kind of a tight game there for a while, certainly after halftime, but boy, they just opened the faucets and let it go. Defensively and offensively did the Lobos. They just found whatever gear they were looking for on both sides of the ball and just did an outstanding job. A very impressive victory, I thought, clearly in that second half. Just made things gel well. And like Coach Tenny said, he had a lot of players show up tonight in a big way for him. And that makes him feel really good.
Oh, it's got to feel good, especially to get that first one out of the way.
Absolutely.
And against a team like Mingus, they're no slouch. And playing a division up tonight, it was certainly a big win for Snowflake and the Lobos. I'll tell you, we'll step away. We'll be back with our Indian Pine Restaurant and Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. Player of the game when we return. This is the Sunrise Park Resort post-game show.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Look, he's blushing.
You know, I talk a lot about Ford trucks, and why wouldn't I? I mean, best-selling truck for 36 years running, because Ford's always thinking ahead to next year and not resting on last year. But now I'm going to talk about something different. Where you want to buy your new Ford truck. You just gotta drive by Sholo Ford to see how many trucks they have. Or go online to sholoford.com. And you know Guy Hatch is going to get you a great deal. Because he promises you he is not going to be undersold by anyone, anywhere. And if you know Guy, you know if he says it, he means it. And not only that, but all his F-150s come with lifetime engine warranties. Why would you think about buying anywhere else? Sholo Ford. We want to exceed your expectations. We're Sholo Ford, your friendly family Ford dealer on the east end of the Deuce.
Heating and cooling and ask about our fall tune-up special. We'll come out and perform a 10-point inspection to make sure your unit is ready
What do
for the cold.
you want another 30?
Anything no, not you, when it comes to your comfort and
Okay, 10 seconds.
Simply the best at what we do. Call 537-4264. That's 537-4264.
Here's your audio.
Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling, bringing you comfort through the 4 seasons.
Here's your intro. And you're hot.
Final 37-6, Snowflake over Mingus. The Marauders make a visit, and for the second time in 2 years, lose to Snowflake, this time here at Snowflake High School. And punt, we've mentioned it really all broadcast, just how impressed we've been with Snowflake. But as we start to think about our player of the game here tonight, talk about some of the individual play.
Well, you know, we talked at halftime about how well their quarterback Claridge had been doing. I think he was 7 for 7 at halftime. He ends up the game going 12 for 13 for 167 yards. I mean, that's for an opening season, for a game or a season opening game. That's just exceptional, I think. Just a great job by him. 1 passing touchdown. And then Trevor McRae also coming up big for the Lobos. 14 carries for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. We saw a couple of touchdowns from Porter Black as well. So very well-balanced offensive attack overall. Coach Tenny touched on that in the interview, post-game interview. So, yeah, I mean, he's got to be feeling really good. Having so many players show up tonight for him offensively. And then, of course, defense. I mean, name a name. They had the line playing well. The linebackers came up big, several of them. We saw some good their secondary wasn't really tested tonight. I mean, Mingus did try some deep passes, but just a solid effort from a lot of players tonight on the defensive side for the Lobos.
And with that, it's time now for a Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store Player of the Game, brought to you by the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. Best selection of hunting, hiking, fishing, and camping gear on the mountain. Find it at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, Highway 260, just south of Pine Top on the right-hand side of the road before you get to the Honda Casino. And it's always tough to choose a player of the game, and tonight is no exception. But as you mentioned, there are some big standouts for Snowflake.
Well, you know, we mentioned earlier in the game, I think you mentioned that it would be really hard to look past Trevor McRae with the production he had. He ran really hard tonight. Solomon is another kid that came up big for Snowflake, only a sophomore. They have a lot of good things to look for him because he really worked hard tonight, carrying the ball and blocking. So I think McRae is definitely in the conversation. And I personally feel, you know, Tyler Claridge with that 12 for 13 performance tonight is certainly deserving. So I'm going to go out on a limb, Camden, and say I think we should have co-players of the game, Claridge and McRae. The combination of those two just outstanding for the Lobos tonight, and to pick one would be a disservice to the other, so I think we should go with both.
Tyler Claridge, Trevor McRae, our co-players of the game, brought to you by the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. Don't forget, the best selection of hiking, camping, and hunting gear, you'll find it at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. in Pine Top, south of Pine Top on Highway 260, right-hand side of the road before you get to Honda. And punt, it's been a terrific open to the season for Snowflake. This is the second game of our broadcast, or second game we broadcast. But there's some struggles for Sholo and Blue Ridge this season. Of course, Sholo off this week, but they had a tough loss to Williamsfield last week. Blue Ridge really getting beat big tonight, 55-7. Prescott beating up on Blue Ridge at Blue Ridge. It could be a long season for the Yellow Jackets this year.
Well, they had some key injuries, in that against Saurita, coming out of the Saurita game. So clearly I think tonight that's having a lasting impression. And tough start, definitely. I mean, when's the last time that any of us can remember Blue Ridge getting beat the way they did tonight?
Usually it's the opposite way around.
It's a tough start for them for sure, but I'm guessing not too many teams up here are going to be looking past the Jackets, because you never know what the tradition they have
after last season, especially.
Absolutely, Coach Belshi, he's putting effort into those guys. It's going to be a tough start for him. I think everybody kind of realized, it would be. It's hard to step in and fill shoes like he's trying to do. But yeah, it's unfortunate, I think, for the Blue Ridge fans out there to see what's happening with the club right now.
Well, we've covered the Cougars, we've covered the Lobos. Next on our schedule, it is the Jackets next week as they take on the Winslow Bulldogs live from Blue Ridge High School. We'll have the pregame for you at 6:30 here on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. And I think we do have a player interview. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. I think he has Trevor McCray lined up. Brandon?
Yeah, I do, Camden. I'm sitting right here with Trevor McCray. I stopped him to get out of the locker room quickly. They must all have really hot girlfriends that they want to get to or something. McCray, co-player of the game, man. How's it feel? Season opener, home opener. You're a co-player of the game. Tell me how you feel right now about your win.
It's really
Where's
good.
Brandon?
We had some mistakes, but it was really good being able to learn from our mistakes and being able to win our first game, so it was really fun.
We're talking up in the booth and all game long. We're talking about how much you guys fly around on defense, and obviously in the offensive ball you're very effective as well. But on the defensive end, when you make big stops like that all the time, how important is that for your offense when your offense goes and takes the field?
It's really important because once the defense gets a stop, it gets our offense going, and then once our offense gets going, it gets our defense going. So it's just a big cycle. So it's really good once our defense gets the stops. Our linemen did really good tonight. We all did a really good job tonight.
So last year's team, we obviously know you guys came out to a really big start, 5-0, and then you played Blue Ridge and you lost a close one to Blue Ridge. Last year's team, everybody was talking about Snowflake might be the team to beat on the mountain. You guys went to the playoffs. Things didn't work out the way you wanted to. Compare this team to last year's team.
We have a lot more depth this year. Last year it was more like we had a running back playing linebacker, quarterback playing linebacker. And this year we have a lot more kids that can fill in and step up, and we have more breaks, so we get more time to sit out, and we have more depth in our positions. So.
Speaking with Trevor McCray, co-player of the game. Trevor, thank you for your time. Go enjoy the win and have a safe weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Camden.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And as always, great interview there. We want to say special thanks to our students at Snowflake and Sholo High School putting on tonight's video production, available at iTalk1067.com and on City 4 TV in the coming week. You can watch it on Monday and Friday at 7 o'clock and again on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Tonight's technical director, Chris Valandra, along with Forrest Fish and Zach Lambert. Audio, Leah Flake, Fernando Chi. Graphics was Travis Plummer. Our camera crew, Zach Perkins, Kristen Fowler, Brian Hanlon, Joseph Hamblin, Trent Kleiman, and Chuck Williams. Advisors, Denise Westover from Snowflake High School and Jerry Butler from the Sholo Film and TV production crew. City 4 TV, our executive producer, Mel West and Curtis Stevens. And back in the studio tonight, it's been Royce Kincannon. On the field, Brandon Todd. Our on-site producer and statistician tonight, Mike Caldwell. For Punt Cooley, I'm Camden Smith, inviting you back next week when we have the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets hosting the Winslow Bulldogs in Game 3 of this young 2014 campaign. Once again, the final, Snowflake victorious over the Mingus Union High School Marauders by a final score of 37-6. Until next week, so long, everybody.